Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Was Trained by Gohan movie. Before we start, please go support Luis Darth 4236 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistaken character's gender, but of course Issei is a male. Gohan had been through many tragedies. His father died of a heart disease, his friends were killed by androids 17 and 18, but in his last battle against the androids, he thought he would die, but ends up arriving in another dimension, where he meets a boy who suffered abuse, and Gohan decides to be his mentor to guide him on the path of good. Chapter 1 The New World. Son Gohan is the son of the most powerful warrior, Son Goku, but now Gohan is big, but he is one of the few warriors left on planet Earth. Gohan has a story that is quite sad. After his father Son Goku defeated Frieza and his father King Cold, he became ill with heart disease and unfortunately died from the disease, and they could not revive him because the Dragon Balls cannot revive people who died of natural causes. But if that was not enough, 6 months after Goku's death, 2 new threats appeared, which were androids called 17 and 18. The Z warriors tried to stop them, but unfortunately they were defeated and killed. The only ones who managed to survive were Gohan and Bulma's daughter and Vegeta Trunky. Gohan trained for 13 years without rest, but could not revive his friends because the Dragon Balls became useless after Piccolo's death. Present. Gohan was with Trunky, both of them watched everything from a mountain. He knows that androids always play dirty. But in that a capital was being attacked by androids, and in that Gohan transforms into a Super Saiyan. Gohan. Trunky, stay here, this could be dangerous, serious. Trunky is the same age as Gohan. Trunky. Gohan, you won't be able to fight them alone, let me accompany you, it would be. Gohan. Trunky reacts, even though we have trained together you still haven't awakened your Super Saiyan, reacts, seriously. Trunky. Gohan, I won't leave you alone, understand, I don't want to lose you, worried. Gohan. Very well, I know how you feel, are you ready Trunky, smiling. Trunks, yes, decided. Gohan then gives Trunky a soft blow to the neck with his right arm, knocking her out. Gohan. Trunky, you can't go because you're going to die because of those androids. If something happens to me, you'll be the last hope. I'm sorry, Trunky, sad. Then Gohan went to fight the androids in the city where they were attacking. But before the attack could finish off Gohan, a portal opens due to the clash of powers, and in that the portal absorbs Gohan, and then the portal closes before the attack arrived, and so there was an explosion. When everything became clear, the android saw that Gohan was not there and thought they had killed him. Android 17. He's already dead, well 18, let's go, seriously. Android 18. I must first see if there are any intact clothing stores, it would be. Android 17. Oh, we don't have time for that, let's go, seriously. So both androids leave the city, or well, what's left of it, and what happened to Gohan? Gohan was in a wormhole where he could barely see because the android's attack weakened him too much. Then another portal opens where Gohan falls from above, and in that he fell, forming a crater. Gohan then crawls as best he can, since he didn't have the energy to get up. After leaving the crater, he can't take it anymore and ends up fainting on the ground. But at that moment a magic circle appears where a man with golden hair and light eyes comes out, but he was wearing some strange clothes. His name was Michael, who is the leader of the Angel faction, and he was accompanied by some soldiers. But Michael sees Gohan, but is horrified to see that he was in a critical condition. Michael quickly went to help him and saved him. Michael. What are you waiting for? We should get him out of here and take him to our kingdom to heal his wounds, seriously. At that the soldiers carry Gohan and leave with their leader. Upon arriving in the kingdom of angels, Michael takes Gohan to a recovery room, and with the help of some doctors, they use their magic to heal Gohan's wounds, but they see that he was missing his left arm. Michael uses his power to regenerate Gohan's arm, but doesn't realize that he regenerates the Saiyan tail. Then they leave him so he can rest, but Michael would ask him some questions later. Gohan began to wake up after being unconscious for several hours, but then he gets up and sees that his wounds have healed, but he is very surprised to see that his left arm was back, but then he feels something on his rear and sees that it was his Saiyan tail. Gohan. How is it possible and how did I get here, seriously? At that the door of the room is opened where Michael enters, who went to talk to Gohan. Michael. I see you're awake, smiling. Gohan. Wait, and who are you, confused? Michael. Right, where are my manners? My name is Michael, and what is yours? Smiling. Gohan. My name is Gohan, but just call me Gohan, seriously. Michael. Hey, how did you end up with such serious injuries? Serious and curious. Gohan. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, but I know you're not human, seriously. Michael. You're right, I'm not human, I'm an archangel and leader of the angels, smiling. Gohan. Angels, confused. Michael. You believe in the supernatural, serious and curious. Gohan. More or less, serious. Michael. You see, there are angels, fallen angels, demons and other races, but you see, many years ago there was a great war, believe me, it was horrible, many died that day, seriously. Gohan, I see, seriously. Michael. Gohan-san, now I want to ask you some questions because I was so hurt, serious and curious. Gohan. Well, you told me the story of the supernatural, I must be fair to you, seriously. And that Gohan told him his story and that he was a Saiyan, an alien race, but there were few Saiyans left because most were exterminated, and how his childhood was, and how he lost his father Son Goku due to a heart disease, and how he lost his friends because of the androids and fought against them for years. Michael is very horrified by the story. Gohan lost his father to an illness and his friends were killed and fighting against some psychopathic androids and saw that Gohan was not lying. Michael. It's a sad story and as you said it must be true, but what will you do, serious and curious. Gohan. I don't know, I should seek refuge and I don't know, but we can be allies. You saved me when I was on the verge of death, it's the least I can do, smiling. Michael smiles with happiness and then Gohan becomes an ally of the angel faction. Michael. I'm glad you're an ally, but don't worry, I'll give you a house in Kuoh City, smiling. Gohan. Thanks Michael-san, smiling. Then Gohan leaves the kingdom of angels and arrives at the city of Kuoh, and Michael got him a house that was quite nice and was in the mountains, and you could see the whole city. Gohan then walks around the city, but he attracted a lot of attention because of his physique. But then he feels trouble as he feels an energy weakening, and he quickly went to see what was happening, and then he saw a family attacking one of their children, but he could hear what they were saying about the child who was being attacked. You're garbage. You're not our brother. You're useless. That and more hurtful things were said to the little boy who was there, and Gohan saw what he was like. Gohan realizes that by his appearance he was a Saiyan and saw how they attacked him, but he knows that is not a good sign. The boy then started to get angry and then he screamed in fury, releasing power, and a golden glow covered him. Ah. At that Gohan sees that he was right, the boy was a Saiyan, but how was it possible? But he remembered the portal, therefore it could be from his world, but he did not know where he came from, since he did not know other Saiyans. Gohan saw that the child in Super Saiyan emanated much power even more than when his father Goku transformed. You'll see, damn you, annoyed. At that point, one of the attackers attacks Issei, but he blocks his blows without any problem. Issei useless, how did you become so strong, shocked. The now identified as Issei just looks angrily at the attacker who was his mother Mickey Hyoudou. Issei. Shut up, annoyed. And that Issei attacks his mother where she could not defend herself and ends up defeated. At that point, Goro Hyoudou attacks Issei, but Issei counterattacks with a punch and begins to torture him until he is badly injured. But then Issei's brothers whose names are Isabel and Issei attack him, but both were no match for Issei in his transformation. But before he can kill them, Gohan intervenes. Gohan. Hey kid, I know they deserve to be punished, but don't do anything stupid, seriously. Issei. Who are you? You're with them, cold. Gohan. I'm not with them, seriously. Issei attacks Gohan, but he knew how to defend himself, and in that Issei began to have an advantage over Gohan, and in that he had no choice but to transform into a Super Saiyan. So both resume the fight, but Gohan didn't want to hurt Issei, but he knew that if he didn't calm him down, things would get out of control. At that point, Gohan defends himself as best he can since Issei in his Super Saiyan form was quite powerful, and he takes advantage of Issei's carelessness and manages to hit him in the neck, leaving him unconscious, but he had great difficulty. Then he saw the Hyoudou with disgust even more than when he saw the androids attacking the cities. Gohan. I'm disgusted that I won't live with you in human trash anymore, seriously. And that he left with Issei in his arms, but now he will make sure that Issei goes on the right path and not go down the path of darkness that will happen. See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 2. Abyssal Power. Previously we saw how Gohan knocked out Trunky to prevent the androids from killing her and fought against them, and when they were going to kill him, he was absorbed by a portal that took him to another dimension. But upon arriving in another dimension he is saved by the Archangel Michael and Gohan became his ally, but he found a child who turns out to be another Saiyan, but after suffering abuse, he transformed into a Super Saiyan, but this one was stronger than Gohan, and with difficulty he knocks him out and takes him home. Present. Dragon Ball World. Trunky began to wake up after Gohan knocked her out. When she woke up, she got up and saw that Gohan was not there. Trunky. Gohan, where are you? Worried. Then she went to the city, or rather what was left of it, and saw how the city was destroyed and there were many fires. Trunky. Gohan, where are you? Gohan, worried. But Trunky couldn't find Gohan anywhere, but then he sees something on the ground and when he picks it up, tears invade his eyes. What Trunky grabbed was a piece of Gohan's clothes and he thought the worst, that Gohan was killed by the androids. Trunky. Gohan no, crying. Trunky was crying because the person she had fallen in love with was dead and she became angry and screamed. Trunky. Ah. And that Trunky manages to become a Super Saiyan. Imagine she is a woman. Trunky continues screaming and then he sees that he reached a Super Saiyan since there was a puddle nearby. Trunky then left but she swears revenge against the androids for everything they did. The XD world. Gohan was with Issei and left him on the couch. He went to the bathroom but then saw in the mirror that he had rejuvenated quite a bit. Gohan. I look like I'm 15 years old, seriously. When he left the bathroom he saw that Issei had woken up and then he went to see him. Issei. Where am I, sleepy? But Issei remembered everything and then he sees Gohan but he doesn't know what to do. Gohan. I see you woke up, smiling. Issei. You knocked me out, what am I doing here? Serious and curious. Gohan. I brought you here because I wasn't going to leave you with garbage like that. My name is Son Gohan but they call me Gohan, smiling. Issei. My name is Issei, just Issei, serious. Gohan. I understand that your last name Issei disgusts you, let me explain, you are not human, you are a Saiyan, seriously. Issei. Saiyan, surprised. Gohan. You see, the Saiyans are an alien race that conquered planets, but don't worry, that's no longer done, but there are only a few Saiyans left because, you see, the Saiyans were exterminated by a being called Frieza, but fortunately, my dad killed him, seriously. Issei. Wow, and that transformation where my hair is golden, serious and curious. Gohan. That's the Super Saiyan Issei, but I have a feeling that's not your true power. That transformation is achieved with anger, serious. Issei. I see, surprised. Gohan. Issei because your family was treating you badly, serious. Issei just lowers his head as it brought back bad memories. Gohan. Issei, if you don't want to talk, I won't force you, seriously. Issei. It's the least I can do, sadly. Gohan. What happened to you, serious and curious. Issei. I was the youngest son of the Hyoudou, but my sisters caused problems and blamed me and made rumors that I was a vandal, sad. Gohan. That's too bad, but thank goodness I got you out of there, but Issei, now you'll stay with me since you can't go back to where they made you suffer, seriously. Issei. You will be my mentor, surprised. Gohan. Of course, and I'll also guide you down the right path so you're not consumed by revenge, seriously. Issei then gives Gohan a hug and he accepts the hug. Gohan. Issei, go to sleep, tomorrow we will go shopping, I will buy you clothes and some things, smiling. Issei went to a room since Gohan told him which room is his. Then Gohan goes out to the patio of his home, he had a large pool. Gohan. Who would have thought? Now I have a protege who is a Saiyan. I know that Issei has a monster power. I detect a very high power, much more than when I was a child, seriously. Gohan is still thoughtful, but then he feels like an evil energy is nearby and then he sees that it is a girl with black hair tied in two pigtails and violet eyes. Gohan. What are you doing on my property? Who are you and why is your energy evil? Serious and curious. I detected a powerful energy coming from here, hey, who are you? Looking at Gohan. Gohan. My name is Gohan, but just call me Gohan, smiling. My name is Serafal, smiling. Gohan. And you haven't answered me that it's you since your energy is evil, serious. Serafal. I see that you discovered me, I am a demon, sadly. Gohan. Don't be sorry, I'm not human either, but I'm not a demon, angel, or fallen angel, seriously. Serafal notices Gohan's tail and realizes that what he told her is true, that he was not human. Serafal. It is true that you are serious and curious. Gohan. I'm a Saiyan, seriously. Something I forgot to mention is that Gohan wanted to be a pure Saiyan in case something bad happened. Serafal. I don't know that race, confused. Gohan. You are innocent like a little girl, well you see, the Saiyans are an extraterrestrial race, serious. Gohan told him about his race, but that there are few Saiyans left because they were exterminated by Frieza. Gohan. And I'm protecting one more of my race, seriously. Serafal. How it happened, curious. Gohan. The Hyoudou were mistreating him, that's why I brought him here to guide him on the right path and prevent him from going down the path of revenge, serious. Serafal. How horrible, covering her mouth in horror. Gohan. Serafal, well I have to go to sleep, I have things to do, see you tomorrow, seriously. Serafal. Well, I have to go give a report, it would be. So Serafal leaves in a magic circle from the place and Gohan went to sleep since it was very late. The next day. Gohan bought Issei clothes and some school supplies so he could get him into another school where the Hyoudou aren't. But then Gohan proposed to train Issei where he agreed to better control the Super Saiyan. Gohan taught Issei to fly with Kai, and in a short time he learned to fly, and so they both reached a remote area where they could not destroy the city, and so they both transformed into Super Saiyans. The two began to train, but as the first time Issei in Super Saiyan had more advantage because his power increased with the passage of time and combat. Both continued training but little by little Gohan began to be surpassed by Issei. Gohan. You have more power than me in Super Saiyan, surprised. At that Issei began to increase his power, but he had memories of being mistreated, infuriating him, and this made him scream in anger. Issei. Ah. At that point, Issei's physical appearance began to change, his muscle mass began to grow, his hair changed to a greenish color, and his pupils disappeared. Gohan. Incredible must be the true legendary power of the Super Saiyan, surprised. Issei. Gohan, what's wrong with me, seeing his appearance through a puddle. Gohan. I think you are the true legendary Saiyan that Vegeta said, seriously. Issei then began to attack Gohan although he was aware, but Gohan began to be overcome by Issei. Issei. This is power, but I won't let it control me, serious. And that Issei little by little his power increased with the passing of seconds his power increased, but in that Gohan wanting to break his limits he screams. Gohan. Ah. At that Gohan's hair becomes more spiky and lightning bolts come out of his body. Gohan had finally achieved a new phase of the Super Saiyan. Gohan then takes advantage of his new power and fights Issei, but he continues to grow, but Gohan is very close. He saw that if he didn't stop Issei, things would get out of control, and then he used his new power to appear behind him and knocked him out, causing him to lose his transformation. Gohan falls tired since his new transformation used up a lot of energy, and so he carries Issei and takes him to the mansion. He was able to beat the legendary Super Saiyan because Issei barely woke him up. Later. Issei woke up and then Gohan gave him a peanut butter sandwich and then he started eating it. Gohan. I didn't know you had such a powerful transformation. I had to take advantage of my new power to knock you out to prevent you from getting carried away by the power, seriously. Issei. I'm sorry if I hurt you, sorrowful. Gohan. Don't worry Issei, I'll also help you control that power and not lose control, smiling. Issei. I hope to control it someday, I don't want to kill someone innocent, sad. Gohan. We'll see, Issei, but everything in its own time, seriously. Issei now knows that he has a power that he barely knows, but he wants to control it to avoid accidentally killing someone. What will happen? See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 3 Some time later. Previously Gohan told Issei about the Saiyans, and then he offered to train Issei where he unlocked a transformation never seen before. Gohan also manages to evolve the Super Saiyan reaching another level, and I call it Super Saiyan 2. Present. The years have passed since Gohan arrived in this new world and now Issei was no longer a child and had grown quite a bit and his hair is somewhat long. The clothes Issei wears in training are white pants and a red cloth. Issei, thanks to Gohan's teachings, is not someone vengeful but still feels some resentment against the Hyoudou. But he masters the normal Super Saiyan but barely has consciousness in the most powerful transformation that Gohan told him should be called the legendary Super Saiyan. Gohan mastered the Super Saiyan in Super Saiyan 2 and got another transformation that he called Super Saiyan 3. Gohan earned money from various jobs he did, such as killing rogue demons and helping the angels from time to time. Now we see Gohan in Super Saiyan 3 with Issei who was in Super Saiyan, but he uses the Super Saiyan 2 that he had obtained. This one, despite not having the Super Saiyan 3 with Phase 2, was more powerful than Gohan's and gave him a fight in Super Saiyan 3. Issei. I'm surprised that my normal transformations are more powerful than yours, but at least I'm not blinded by hatred, seriously. Pave to clarify that Gohan put up a barrier so that no one could detect his powers. And that both continued training with the transformations, but Issei would not use the legendary phase unless necessary. After hard training they returned to their base states. Gohan. I see you're making quite a bit of progress, smiling. Issei. I try hard, smiling. Gohan. Well you should go to the academy tomorrow, but if you see your ex-family just ignore them, but if they make up rumors I know a trick there are lie detectors in the academy, so those rumors won't happen, smiling. Issei. How clever, smiling. So Issei and Gohan after a long break, both decide to train again with their transformations. The next day. Issei attends the academy where he introduced himself to everyone as Issei, and many girls looked at him with hearts in their eyes. Issei is not perverted because Gohan was his mentor and made sure that Issei was not influenced by perverted things. After the break, Issei goes out to the recess where he sits under a tree to enjoy the rest. Issei. Since Gohan became my mentor I see him as my true family, smiling. But then he feels that someone is watching him and then he sees who was watching him and sees a black-haired girl with glasses. It should be noted that Rias and Sona were not involved in the abuse. Issei knew she was Sona Sitri since he and Gohan went to the underworld on several occasions and knew about the demons. After a while Issei leaves, but he still had things to do like surpassing the legendary Super Saiyan. Later. Gohan was wearing a different outfit since he wasn't going to wear his battle clothes if he wasn't fighting, and it was an outfit that Bulma had given him on his 23rd birthday because it couldn't be celebrated due to the androids. Gohan saw the citizens walking and living their daily lives, which reminded him of what his world was like before the androids appeared. Gohan. I would have liked to awaken the Super Saiyan 2 against those androids, so maybe I could have defeated them, seriously. This one went to do some shopping like food and some video games. Dragon Ball World. After the death of Gohan, Trunky finally achieves the Super Saiyan, and Bulma had built him a time machine to travel to the past and warn about the androids. When he traveled to the past he gave Goku the medicine for his heart disease and then returned to his own time. But then he returned to the past and was surprised to find that the androids of the past were not evil like those of the future, but there was a threat from another android called Cell. But the Gohan of the past finished him off since he was able to access the Super Saiyan 2. Trunky then returns to her time and is now determined to finish off the androids, and now she has a better command of the Super Saiyan. Trunky finished off the androids and then Cell to end these threats. Trunky was a beauty, but she rejected everyone who flirted with her because she only loved someone, and it was Gohan, but she doesn't know he's alive. Every night Trunky cried in her room and hugged a picture of her with Gohan, she still remembers how they met. Flashback. We see Gohan at 4 years old walking through the forest, and then he meets a girl his same age with purple hair and blue eyes. Gohan, 4 years old. Hello, smiling. Little Trunky then hears the voice and sees a boy with black hair and eyes of the same color. Trunky, 4 years old. Hello, shy. Gohan, 4 years old. I see you're shy, calm down, I won't hurt you, smiling. The little son's smile made the purple-haired girl more confident. Gohan, 4 years old. I'm Son Gohan, but you can call me Gohan, smiling. Trunky, 4 years old. Wait, you're Mr. Goku's son, surprised. Gohan, 4 years old. I see you know my father and you, pretty girl, what's your name? Innocent tone. Trunky, 4 years old. So I am Trunky brief, sad. Gohan, 4 years old. You are the daughter of Bulma and Mr. Vegeta, surprised. Trunky, 4 years old. I see you know about my dad, surprised. Gohan, 4 years old. If you want to be my friend, smiling. Trunky, 4 years old. Yes, I want to be your friend, smiling. It was thus that they both met, where they had a beautiful friendship, and when some events occurred, such as the battles against Frieza's soldiers, they fought in perfect synchrony. End of flashback. Trunky remembering her good times with Gohan couldn't help but cry, she wanted to be with him, but she doesn't know how. Trunky. Gohan, I want to see you again, I love you, sad. After that she falls asleep, but she wanted to see Gohan again. The XD world. Gohan after doing his shopping went back home and met Issei, who was playing the game of Choo Choo Charles. Gohan. What do you think of the Choo Choo Charles game? Smiling. Issei. It's funny, nothing interesting happened at the academy today, serious. After a while the two went to an island where they could not destroy anything, and Issei creates a barrier, and Gohan accesses the Super Saiyan 3, and in that Issei accesses the legendary Super Saiyan. So both began their training where Issei did not let himself be carried away by power and was far superior to Gohan, although the latter gave him some fight, but Issei increased his power with the seconds. Now that Issei has grown up, he doesn't know what challenges he will face later. See him in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 4 Nekomata. Previously we saw how the years passed and Issei grew and achieved phase 2 of the Super Saiyan, but Issei was more powerful than Gohan, even with the phase of the legendary Super Saiyan, since Issei increased in power as the minutes passed. Issei also entered the school since Gohan enrolled him, but thanks to some lie detectors, Issei would not have to worry about false rumors. Present. We see Issei who was at the academy, but he saw his former sisters, but decides not to take it seriously, and after a few classes the recess came where Issei went to the patio. The Hyoudou sisters tried to spread rumors that Issei was a pervert, but the lie detectors failed to detect them, and as a result, they ended up being punished without a break. We see Issei relaxing in the courtyard, but he realizes that someone is watching him, and then he saw that it was Rias Gremory. Issei knew she was a devil and went to see what she wanted and why she was watching her and went to the occult club. He knocked on the door and the one who opened it was Kaneko Taoju, the academy's mascot. Kaneko, Issei-senpai who brings it here would be incurious. Issei. Look at a cute kitten, stroking Kaneko's head. But instead of getting angry, Kaneko just pretends to be a kitten and purrs, but then Issei stops petting her. Kaneko. Why did she do that? Sadly. Issei. Kaneko, you're a cute little kitten underneath that facet, smiling. Kaneko blushes but lets Issei pass so he can talk to Rias, where Issei sits in the room where Rias' Gremory enters. Rias. I see you came looking for Issei, curious. Issei. Why are you watching me? Rias' Gremory, heiress of the Gremory clan, serious. Rias. Issei, how did you know? Surprised. Issei. Simple because I'm not human, but I'm not a demon, angel or fallen angel either, seriously. At that point, her tail becomes visible, where Rias and Kaneko were surprised since they thought it was a yokai monkey. Rias. You are a yokai monkey, surprised. Issei. No, actually I'm a Saiyan, seriously. Rias. Saiyan, confused. Kaneko. I don't know that breed, it would be. Issei. Saiyans are an extraterrestrial race. Our appearance is like that of humans, but we have a monkey tail, but we turn into giant monkeys when we look at the full moon, seriously. Rias. But how do I know it's not a trick, serious and curious. Issei releases a little bit of Kai so as not to destroy the occult club. Issei. That proves it, and I don't even use 1% of my power, or else this place would already be rubble, seriously. Rias. I see that you are telling the truth, but what will you do then, seriously and curiously? Issei. It's okay, by the way Rias, I came to tell you that I will not join your entourage, however we can be allies so as not to have problems, smiling. Rias, although it hurt that Issei didn't join her entourage, at least she would have him as an ally. Rias gives the Gremory clan seal to Issei to show that they are allies. Issei. Well now I must confess something, my mentor and I have eliminated the renegade demons, seriously. Rias. No wonder there aren't that many renegade demons, thanks, smiling. Issei. How about to seal our deal I invite you out later, smiling. Rias blushes at Issei's request, since she was going to have her first date. Rias. You want to go out with me, blushing. Issei. Calm down, Rias-chan, it's just a date and I don't have anything else planned. I'm not perverted because if I were, I'd be looking at your breasts and not your face, which is why I'm only talking to you while looking at your face and not any other part of your body, smiling. Rias. You have a good point, Issei. Well, it's my first date, blushing. Issei. It's also my first date, Rias-chan, smiling. Then Issei left the occult club and after Issei left someone would enter, it was Akeno Himejima. Akeno. Rias K. Suicid, curious. Rias. Akeno, I met son Issei and I'll have a date with him later, blushing. Akeno. You got ahead of yourself, jealous. Rias. Well Akeno, you'll be next while I have to get ready for my date, it would be. Akeno. Well at least I'll have time with him, smiling. So they both sit down to talk about some topics, but Akeno doesn't know that Issei is a Saiyan. Later. Gohan was training in Super Saiyan Phase 3, where he already mastered the transformation at 70%, but then he decided to return to his base state. Gohan looks at the sky as it gets dark, this brings back memories of when he was with Trunky. Gohan. I hope to see you again Trunky, sad voice. The Saiyan walks a little through the forest, but then he feels that someone was watching him. Gohan. Get out of there whoever you are, seriously. Then someone came out of a tree. It was a woman who looked about 22 years old with black hair, golden eyes, cat ears, a voluptuous figure, and she was wearing a black kimono with golden accessories. Gohan. Wait, and who are you, serious and curious? What is your name, curious? Gohan. You are Gohan, but what is your name? Serious and curious. My name is Kuroka Hellcat, I'm a Nekomata, you can tell by my kitten ears and tails, playful voice. Gohan. Okay, but why are you following me Kuroka, serious and curious? Kuroka. Naya Gohan-kun you see you are cute, but I don't notice that, but I am curious about you, since I know that you are not human or demon, angel or fallen angel or any other race that I know Naya, playful tone. Gohan. Okay you're right Kuroka, I'm nothing like that, I'm just a Saiyan, seriously. Kuroka, Saiyajin sorprendida. Gohan shows his tail where Kuroka saw that it looked like a monkey tail. Gohan. The Saiyans are an alien race, but we have a great resemblance to humans, but the only difference is that we have a monkey tail, but there are only a few Saiyans left because my race was exterminated many years ago, seriously. Kuroka. Gohan Naya I want to go with you I'm very curious about you, tender eyes. Gohan. Okay Kuroka, but I warn you that my story isn't that cute, seriously. After that Gohan feels Kuroka clinging to him and then he flew away. Kuroka was amazed that Gohan could fly without wings. The Issei. He was waiting for Rias where after a while she arrived in casual clothes. Rias. How do I look Issei-kun, blushing. Issei wore a green jacket with black pants and a white flannel. Issei. Beautiful, smiling. Rias. What are you waiting for? Let's enjoy our date, smiling. So they both went to a cafeteria where they ordered some rolls, and after that Issei took her to the amusement park where she really enjoyed the games, and in one of hitting with a hammer to see the strength Issei wins a stuffed dog for laughter. After the fair, Issei went with Rias to the cinema to see the movie Breaking the Circle. Han Gohan. Gohan arrived at his mansion where Kuroka separates, and then both went to a special room where Gohan talks to Kuroka. Gohan. Kuroka-chan, you see, my story isn't pretty, let's say, seriously. Gohan then does a technique, and the environment shows Gohan's memories. Kuroka saw what Gohan was like when he was a child, and then when Raditz arrived on Earth how he left him injured with a headbutt, but Raditz was accompanied by another Saiyan named Nappa. It should be noted that here Vegeta went to Earth with Goku, but the events do not change much. The trip to Namek where he fought against the soldiers of a being called Frieza, who was responsible for eliminating the Saiyans, and how Gohan's father transformed into a Super Saiyan to fight Frieza. Then the arrival of Frieza with his father, but they were eliminated by Goku, but unfortunately Goku dies from a heart disease. The appearance of the androids and how they killed the Z warriors and how their training was for years until their last battle. Kuroka had tears in her eyes because of how sad Gohan's story was, how he lost his father to an illness, and how his friends were killed by the androids, and how he fought tirelessly. Gohan. I was very weak, I couldn't protect my friends, and I could have saved my father. I understand if you don't want to see me sad. But at that moment Kuroka approaches Gohan and gives him a big hug. Kuroka. I also lost people I loved and I separated from my little sister because they consider me a criminal for killing my master, but I only did it to protect my little sister because that guy was evil, sad. Gohan and Kuroka were very close in the hug, but both had things in common, both lost friends and loved ones. After the hug, Gohan went to the living room to watch a movie, but Kuroka decided to stay with Gohan. Now Gohan has a new friend, but he doesn't know that later on she will be something more than a friend who will pass by. See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 5 Issei Conus a Rainer. Previously we saw how Issei meets the Gremory, but not only that, but Issei also had a date with Rias, where both had a lot of fun, where Issei showed himself to be a gentleman with the Gremory heiress. But Gohan instead met Kuroka, a Nekomata, where he took her to live with him, but Gohan told him his story, but the Nekomata decided to live with him. Present. After watching the movie, Gohan went to prepare food because he got hungry and served food to Kuroka. Kuroka tries Gohan's food and is amazed by the taste. Kuroka. Naya, it's the most delicious thing I've ever tasted, eating. Gohan. I'm glad you like it Kuroka-chan, smiling. Kuroka. Gohan-kun, what are you going to do with me? You know I killed my master, but I did it to protect my little sister, sadly. Gohan. Calm down Kuroka, I won't let anyone lay a finger on you since I know you killed, but it was to protect the family you have left, and you will be under my protection, so no one will hurt you, or you will pay dearly, seriously. Kuroka then approaches Gohan to hug him, since someone was going to protect her from being locked up. Kuroka. Thank you, sobbing. Gohan. You're welcome Kuroka, kind voice. After that Gohan saw the time and it was time to sleep and went to his room which was big. Gohan lays down on his bed and then falls asleep since he had trained a lot with Issei that day. However, a few minutes after falling asleep, someone enters his room. It was Kuroka who saw Gohan sleeping, but then she proceeds to take off her kimono, revealing that she was not wearing underwear. Kuroka then lies down on the bed so she can fall asleep with Gohan. 1 hour later. After the date with Rias, Issei returned home, but saw that Gohan was in his room, since he was not in the living room, and then he went to his room where you can see how it was decorated. Issei went to his bed and then watched some television until he fell asleep. The next day. Gohan began to wake up but felt an extra weight and when he saw he turned very red since it was Kuroka who was in his bed, but the reason why Gohan turned red is easy, Kuroka was naked. Kuroka began to wake up and then she saw that Gohan had already woken up. Kuroka, buenos dias Gohan Naya sonolienta. Gohan. Kuroka, what are you doing in my bed? Blushing. Kuroka. I wanted to sleep with you Gohan Naya, blushing. Gohan. But why are you naked, blushing? Kuroka. It's just that I can't sleep with my clothes on, it makes me uncomfortable, and I like to sleep without clothes Naya, blushing. Gohan. It's okay Kuroka, if you want to sleep with me, let me know, it's okay, serious. Kuroka. It's okay Naya, blushing. Then Gohan went to take a bath and when he finished he went to get dressed and go prepare breakfast and Issei would come down who had already bathed and dressed in his uniform. Gohan. Good morning Issei, smiling. Issei. Good morning Gohan-san, smiling. Gohan. How did your date go yesterday? Smiling. Issei. It went well for me, smiling. Gohan. Good for my little brother, smiling. Issei. Hey Gohan-san, I detected another presence in our house, serious. Gohan. She's someone I met, you'll know her, seriously. At that, Kuroka, who was wearing her kimono, comes down and arrives at the kitchen where Issei is surprised that she has the same energy as Kaneko. Perhaps she is a relative of Kaneko. Gohan explained to Issei who Kuroka was, but she is under his protection so that the demons do not hurt her. Issei. I understand. Hey, another thing, you'll come on Father's Day, curious. Gohan. Although I am your mentor, I will go with you, but that day is still far away, serious. Kuroka. Nice to meet you, Issei, smiling. Issei. Well, Gohan-san, you are like my father, so that's fine. Another thing I detected, that there are fallen angels in the city. We must find out what they are planning, seriously. Gohan, low see Issei, serio. Issei. Although after school we must train, seriously. Gohan. I have that planned, Issei, seriously. Then Issei went to school and saw his former sisters, and thanks to the lie detectors they were taken as needy of attention and unstable. Issei. They deserve it for trying to ruin me, mockingly. Then she went to her classroom where classes went on normally until the end of the class, where she went to the occult club and told Rias and the others that there were fallen angels on the loose. Rias. From what I see, you're telling the truth, it would be. Issei. Rias-chan, I know you want to avoid a war, but we can't let the fallen kill people, seriously. Akeno. Ara is right, Rias-chan, it would be. Kaneko. What will happen now? Serious and curious. Issei. I will investigate further, seriously. After that he went to investigate, but he was alert for anything that might happen. Dragon Ball World. We see Trunky, who was with his best friend Mai, both of them eating quietly at Bulma's house. Trunky met her after defeating the androids in Cell, where they both saw that they had many things in common. Trunky. Another long day of training, a little tired. Mai. Trunky, and that you train a lot, serious and curious. Trunky. I want to be strong. Mai is that, serious and determined. Mai. I see, but you still miss him, right? It would be. Trunky only sheds a few tears when he remembers Gohan, but he doesn't know that he is still alive. Mai. Sorry, I didn't mean to remind you of that, sadly. Trunky. I have faith that he must be alive, but I don't know where he can be, sad. After that Trunky went to train a little to clear her mind, but on her jacket there was a picture of her with Gohan in a park. That was a day that the androids did not attack. The XD dimension. Gohan was still wondering how to see Trunky again. He wanted to see her, but he didn't know how, but he would see what to do later. The Issei. Issei walks but runs into a girl on a bridge. Issei, upon detecting her presence, knew that she was a fallen angel, but he would be direct. Issei. Who are you? Serious and curious. My name is Yuma Mono, shy. Issei. Stop pretending like a fallen angel, Yuma, or should I say Rainer, seriously. And that the girl accesses her fallen angel form upon seeing that she was discovered by Issei. Rainer. How did you know it was me? Surprised. Issei. It's obvious I'm a Saiyan, and I know how to detect presences, seriously. Rainer. Saiyan, I don't know that race, it would be. Issei. I am far superior to the factions, neither Great Red nor Office working together, nor Trahexa could do anything to me. I know that you are here to look for the one who carries the boosted gear. I'm sorry to tell you that I don't have it, seriously. To prove that he is not lying, he raises his power, scaring the fallen angel. Issei. Rainer, I know you were sent by a certain Gabriel, but I can protect you, because if the demons see you, they will kill you without knowing why you are here, seriously. Rainer. Would you do that for me? Surprised. Issei. Of course, also because you are pretty, but I don't care about external beauty, but about feelings, seriously. As proof that he wants to protect her, he gives her a warm hug, but not too tightly so as not to hurt her. Rainer, thanks Issei-kun, smiles. Issei. Hey, I also have to find you some clothes or something, seriously. Rainer. Don't worry, I've got that sorted, it would be. She uses her magic to have new clothes so she doesn't look too exposed. Issei. I don't deny that you're pretty like that, but okay, let's go, seriously. But then the spear of light was going to hit her, but Issei launches an attack that destroys the spear. The Saiyan saw that the causer was another fallen angel, but he was wearing a trench coat. So you're going to betray us, Rainer? Now you're going to die cold. Rainer. Leave me alone, Donaseek, would be. At that moment, Donaseek attacks Rainer without her reacting, but Rainer hits her, hurting her a lot, but Issei attacks Donaseek at that moment. Issei. Damn decrepit old man, you're going to pay for that, seriously. And that Donaseek attacks Issei where the Saiyan dodges all the attacks without problem, and Issei at that moment decides to finish them off and launches an attack that ends up damaging Donaseek. To finish it off, he throws an Omega Blaster, thus disintegrating the fallen man. Issei takes Rainer and flies away to take her home, where upon arriving he saw Gohan with Kuroka watching movies on television, but Gohan notices Rainer. Gohan. Issei, who is she and what happened to her, seeing Reiner injured? Issei. It's a long story, help me, worried. Gohan takes her to heal her wounds where he gives the necessary things to Issei and he heals her wounds, luckily they are not very serious. Issei met a girl, but he doesn't know that she will start to have feelings for him, which will happen. See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 6. The new Bishop of Rias. Previously we saw how Gohan and Kuroko spent time together, but not only that, but Issei spends time with Rias and her entourage, since he was an ally. But not only that, but Issei met Reiner, a fallen angel, but he became fond of her, but they tried to kill her, but Issei protected her and killed the fallen angel who tried to kill Reiner. Present. After what happened, Issei manages to heal Reiner and then leaves her in a room so she can rest, but we see Issei talking to Gohan. Issei. Master, I want to tell you something. When I met Reiner, she is very pretty, but she was threatened by a damn cadre called Gabriel, cold. Gohan. I've heard about him, but Issei, we don't know where he is exactly, serious. Issei. I know, but if he sees it I'll tear him to pieces, cold. Gohan. I see, but try not to lose control, worried. After that they both went to their respective rooms to sleep, but Kuroko went to sleep with Gohan, but this time he agreed that she slept with him. The next day. Gohan accompanies Kuroko to buy some clothes since she needed more clothes, but the Saiyan asked her to hide her Nekomata features so as not to attract so much attention, and she agreed. In the store Kuroko chose several outfits of clothes. Ignore the Nekomata ears and tails. Gohan. You look beautiful, Kuroko-chan, blushing. Kuroko. Do you really believe it? Surprised. Gohan. Yes, Kuroko-chan, blushing. Kuroko. You should also buy some clothes, smiling. Gohan tries on several outfits, some of which showed off his muscles, but he took some sportswear. The Issei. He was walking down the street while Reiner was resting at the mansion, but then Issei collides with someone and trips. Issei. I'm sorry, sad. At that moment he saw that the person he collided with was a blonde girl with green eyes wearing nun clothes. Issei. Sorry, I didn't pay attention to where I was going, sadly. Don't worry, I wasn't paying attention to where I was going either, sadly. Issei. My name is Issei and what is your name? Smiling. My name is Asia Argento, blushing. Issei. It's a cute name, smiling. Asia blushes at Issei's comment, but then they both walk for a while, but Issei notices that Asia has a sacred gear. Then Asia sees a child who was hurt and just by putting her hands a green glow comes out and then the child's wound disappears, but Issei was amazed. When the child leaves, Issei approaches Asia to talk to her. Issei. Asia, what was that, curious? Asia. It's my sacred gear, I can heal wounds, smiling. Issei. I see, serious. Asia. Issei-san thinks I'm a heretic, sad. Issei. No, not at all, Asia, you're not a heretic, but why did you call yourself that? Confused. Asia tells Issei her story where she cured a demon and as a result she was exiled and called a heretic. Asia sheds tears but feels a warm hug, it was Issei who was hugging her. Issei. Asia, you're not a heretic. Those bastards don't know they let a good person like you go, seriously. Asia. Don't you see me as a heretic? Sobbing. Issei. I already told you, Asia, you're not, I'm being honest, smiling. In that, both have a way out, but in the distance, Rias observed everything. She admits that Asia has a sad story, but she felt jealous when she saw her with Issei. Issei knew he couldn't leave Asia in the church, since thanks to Reiner, he knew the plan of the fallen angels to kill her to take away her sacred gear. Issei. Asia, you won't go to church because they're going to kill you, worried. Asia. Then they sent me to kill me, shedding tears. Issei hugs her again to try to calm her down and that everything would be okay. Issei. How about you come with me? You will be under my protection so no one will hurt you, seriously. Asia. I don't want to be a bother, sad. Issei. Not at all, Asia, you won't be a nuisance, in fact my brother and mentor will accept you, smiling. Then Issei went to the mansion and saw that Gohan was not there and had to wait for him. When Gohan returned, he saw Issei, but accompanied by another girl, and then Issei told Gohan everything, saying that Asia wanted to protect her because the fallen angels wanted to kill her. Gohan. It's okay, you can stay, but Asia, we're not going to treat you like a servant since you'll be part of the family, smiling. Asia sheds tears and Issei hugs her to calm her down. After that Gohan and Issei go out to train a little, but now Issei controls the legendary Super Saiyan a little. Gohan transforms into Super Saiyan 3 so as not to be left behind, but Issei put up a barrier so as not to attract anyone's attention. Later. Issei was with Rias and her entourage where he told them about Asia and the others felt empathy for her and in that Issei gives something to Rias. Issei. Rias-chan, if Asia joins your entourage she could help a lot, she can heal wounds, seriously. Rias thought about it and she agreed and brought Issei to Asia where Rias offered him to join her entourage. Rias. Asia, if you don't want to join, that's fine, we're not going to force you, seriously. Asia. No, you didn't treat me like a witch. I want a family, shedding tears. Rias then gives him the bishop piece where Asia is now part of the Gremory entourage. Asia is given an academy uniform since Rias plans to enroll her. Asia. How do I look, Issei-san, smiling. Issei. Very cute, Asia-chan, blushing. Rias. How about we celebrate with ice cream, smiling. Everyone nods and plans to go to the ice cream parlor later to celebrate the arrival of someone new to the Gremory family. Elsewhere. Gohan was looking at the sky, still thinking about Trunky, but still doesn't know how to see her again, but then a beautiful angel appears. Gohan, seeing her, realizes that she has a resemblance to Michael, she was the seraph Gabriel. Gohan. Gabriel-chan, how are you, smiling. Gabriel. Hello Gohan-kun, smiling. Gohan. How is Michael, smiling. Gabriel. He's fine and thank you for providing a solution to the paperwork, smiling. Gohan. Yes, robotic arms that do the paperwork in a jiffy, but even if I face the androids, they are enhanced humans, but I still don't feel their presence because they don't have Kai, seriously. Gabriel. Hey Gohan-kun, what happened in Kuoh? Curious. Gohan. Fallen angels killing people, I took care of some of them, seriously. Gabriel covers his mouth from the horror he had heard. Gabriel. What a horror. I'll tear Azazel to pieces for being lazy, it would be. Gohan. Something tells me he's pretty dead. After that Gabriel says goodbye to Gohan and leaves, but not before giving him a kiss on the cheek. Gohan then went to do some things, and he went to a lake to swim. It was a secret lake that only he and Issei knew its location, since it can only be entered through a secret cave. Gohan takes off his clothes, leaving him in shorts, and then enters the water to swim for a while. While diving, he finds a series of underwater tunnels. He walks through one of them and enters a cave, but he saw that there was not much to see, but when he walked a little he found something that caught his attention. It was a strange book. Gohan. Wow, what a book, surprised. Then he takes the book to take it with him, but there was something else, a cloth that he could use to keep the book safe, and he takes it with him. Later. Back at the mansion, Gohan examines the book to see what it contained, but at first the book does not open until he eventually manages to open it when he sees that it is stuck, but he manages to remove the lock and sees that the book had strange text. Gohan. I remember, it's a magic book. I saw one when I visited Michael in heaven, seriously. Just in case, Gohan will have magical abilities such as elemental power and different teleportation and other abilities that you will see later, but there will be powerful enemies. Gohan continues examining the book, but he doesn't know that he will learn some magic that will happen. See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 7, Mount Olympus. Previously we saw how Issei met Rainer and saved her from certain death, and not only that, but he swore to protect her from anyone who tried to hurt her. But not only that, but Issei met a sweet girl named Asia Argento, where he protects her from the fallen angels killing her, but Issei promised that that will not happen. Present. It was another day and we see Issei turned into a legendary Super Saiyan. Issei was training with Gohan who was in Super Saiyan 3, since that was what they usually do to be stronger. Both gave their all in training, but of course Issei had a clear advantage in the legendary Super Saiyan, but he made sure not to lose control. Gohan. Wow, Issei, I see you're almost surpassing me in Super Saiyan 3, but anyway, I've almost mastered the transformation, seriously. Issei. Well, what can I say, seriously. And that the two continue training until they finish the training and detransform. Later on. Issei finds out that Rias and Sona are competing to go to the family forest, but he doesn't care since it wasn't his business, and then he went to do something else. Issei went shopping with Rainer where he bought several things for the girl, and she gladly accepted them. After shopping, they both went to an arcade where Issei played some racing games, and Rainer played the claw game where she won a Pikachu plush. In the evening. Issei was at the lookout with his first girlfriend, and she thanked him for the date they had. Issei. I always like to make you happy, blushing. At that Rainer gives a tender kiss to Issei on the lips, and he gladly accepts the kiss. Han Gohan. This one was with his combat suit flying through several places where Gohan doesn't realize it, but ends up arriving at Mount Olympus without realizing it. Gohan. What place is this, surprised. In that he continues to walk around the place, but he notices powerful presences, but in that he hears something. Who are you and what are you doing here, seriously? At that Gohan turns around and sees a muscular man with long hair and a beard. I wasn't going to put the one from Record of Ragnarok because it's confusing since Zeus and Master Roshi are the same in appearance and some abilities. Gohan. I don't know how I got here, I explored and ended up here, seriously. Mortal, don't you know this is Mount Olympus, seriously. Gohan. I've heard from him that the gods of Olympus live there, seriously. I see you're not stupid, but you entered my kingdom. I am Zeus, serious. Gohan. Zeus the god of lightning, serious. Zeus. That's right, and what are you doing in my kingdom? Seriously. Gohan. Like I said, I was exploring and ended up here, but now I see that you think I'm weak, I'm not, seriously. At that Gohan activates his Kai aura where Zeus saw that there was a lot of power, but saw Gohan's tail and thought it was a yokai, but it wasn't because he saw that it belongs to an unknown race. Zeus. What are you, seriously? Gohan. I see that you know that I am not human, but I am not a demon, nor an angel or fallen angel, I am a Saiyan, seriously. Zeus. Saiyan, I don't know that race, seriously. Gohan. It is a race from another planet, unfortunately my race was exterminated by a being called Frieza. We Saiyans have an appearance like humans, but we have a monkey tail, but if we look at the full moon we become giant monkeys, seriously. Zeus. That race that is so powerful, serious and curious. Gohan. We have a lot of power, we are capable of destroying anything, but now I want to show what a fight is like, serious. Zeus. I like the sound of it, how about a fight, and so you can show me everything, challenger. Gohan. He didn't refuse a fight, so let the best man win, challenger. At that Zeus gathered the other gods of Olympus where he said he would have a fight with someone of a race never seen before. Gohan was in one place, but there was a goddess looking at him with desire, it was Aphrodite. Aphrodite looked at Gohan with desire and curiosity. Aphrodite. What race will he be? Excited. Returning to the combat arena. Zeus and Gohan had serious faces, and when they rang a fight bell the fight began. At that Zeus and Gohan launched themselves at each other and then they both started to clash punches and kicks. The Super Saiyan is not there. At that Zeus launches a lightning attack, but Gohan dodges it without problem, and at that Zeus activates an electric aura and attacks Gohan, but he blocks the attacks or deflects them into the sky. Zeus. Who would say that Saiyan is a strong race, smiling. Gohan. Now I must show my power, transforming into a Super Saiyan. Everyone sees the great power, and then Gohan launches himself to fight against Zeus, where Zeus decides to fight seriously using all his power. Gohan, Kuoh your power equals the Super Saiyan excited. At that point, Gohan and Zeus launch into battle again, where Gohan connects a punch to Zeus's face. Zeus then launches an energy attack, but the Saiyan defends himself, and then Gohan receives an attack from Zeus. When everything clears up Gohan had a few scratches on his body, and some of his clothes were torn, but he didn't show any signs of pain. Gohan then charges a Kamehameha, and Zeus creates a final attack, and so there is a clash of powers. Imagine that Gohan has both arms. Zeus gave his all in the attack, but in that Gohan used more of the power of the Super Saiyan, wherein that he won the clash of powers, and in that an explosion occurred. When everything becomes clear Zeus was unconscious, and Gohan was just a little agitated but not tired at all. The gods of Olympus looked at Gohan with fear and respect, but Aphrodite was ecstatic when she saw that Gohan was someone quite powerful. One of the gods approaches Gohan, it is Ares the god of war. Ares. You have the heart of a warrior, you defeated Zeus, you earned my respect, seriously. Gohan. Well, thanks, confused. Ares. You used all your power to defeat him, seriously. Gohan. No, seriously. Ares. Confused. Gohan. I didn't use all my power, seriously. Ares. How much power do you have, shocked. Gohan. It was the first transformation, I have 2 others, seriously. Ares. How powerful are you? Unbelieving. Gohan. With all my power I can destroy several planets and what you heard is that I am a Saiyan, an alien race, but there are only a few left because a tyrant named Frieza killed my race, seriously. Ares. That tyrant must have been more powerful to eliminate them, seriously. Gohan. Yes, but my dad defeated him years ago, seriously. After that, Zeus healed him and when he woke up, he gathered the other gods where Gohan saw that they were quite nice, although of course some were afraid of him. Gohan. Although I am very powerful, I do not like the idea of conquering, but I seek to protect this planet, seriously. Aphrodite. That's nice of you, what's your name? Curious. Gohan. My name is Gohan, but just call me Gohan, smiling. Aphrodite. Okay Gohan-kun, flirty. Apollo. Hey Gohan-san, what's your story? Curious. Gohan. Well since we trust each other I'll tell them, seriously. He told his story where many of them became sad for Gohan upon hearing that he lost many important people, but his father had died from an illness. Aphrodite hugs him since she could not bear the sadness for Gohan since he fought against 2 ruthless beings without rest, but there was someone who looked with jealousy, it was the goddess Athena. Athena. Aphrodite, you're not going to take it away from me. Zeus. We admire your story, in fact you are welcome on Olympus, smiling slightly. Gohan. Thanks Zeus-san, well I'm hungry, someone give me something to eat, smiling. Zeus orders the servants to make a banquet since he was also very hungry. Now Gohan knows the gods of Olympus, but he still has other factions to meet. What will happen? See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 8 Demonstration of Power. Previously we saw how Issei and Gohan trained as always, but then Issei had a romantic date with Rainer, where they both kissed in a beautiful sunset. But Gohan, because he was exploring, ends up reaching Mount Olympus where he meets Zeus, and they have a fight where Gohan won, showing the superiority of his race, and some goddesses noticed him. Present. We are with Issei, who was looking for Gohan, but found a note that he would be on Mount Olympus for a few days. This surprised Issei, but he understood that his mentor and brother had to do some things. Hiroka had gone to explore some places, luckily she hid her energy so as not to be detected. Issei made food for Rainer since one of the things he learned is that Gohan taught him how to cook in case one day he got his own house and knew what was necessary. The next day. Issei was at the academy eating a sandwich where he saw everything around him, and then he prepares to go to the occult club where he would talk to Rias about various things. Upon arriving at the occult club, Issei sits next to Rias and she liked that Issei was by her side. Issei. Rias-chan, I have news for you, smiling. Rias. Ah yes, which ones, curious. Issei. Now that we are allies, I have a surprise for you, smiling. Rias. Like, surprised. Issei. You'll see it later while we enjoy some time together, smiling. Rias smiles tenderly, but Akeno and the others felt jealous but let it pass. But then a magic circle appears where a guy appears who looked about 20 years old with blonde hair, blue eyes, and was wearing a red suit with a white shirt. Hello Rias-chan, my future wife, arrogant. Issei felt anger not with Rias, but with that guy who dares to say that she is his future wife. Issei. Who is that cold? Akeno. Issei-kun, he is the Phoenix Razor, the heir of the Phoenix clan. You see, he is Rias' fiancé, it would be. Issei. Promised what's happening, serious and curious. Akeno. Because of the holy war, there aren't many pure-blooded demons left, and that's why they make arranged marriages, it would be. Issei. That shouldn't be the case. No one should marry someone they don't love, seriously. Razor. You know you can't resist, arrogant. Rias. I will only marry the person I love, it would be. Issei. You heard her, idiot cold. Razor. Oh who do you think you are, stupid? Mockingly. Issei. I would break your mother right now, but I won't because I don't want to make that person angry, pointing in a direction. At that Razor turns around and sees that it was Sirzechs, Lucifer's wife, whose name is Margaret. That's right, in my fic Grayfia is not married to Sirzechs because Grayfia will be Gohan's partner. Margaret. Razor, control yourself, don't force me to attack you, it would be. Razor controls himself since he doesn't want problems with the wife of the Mao Lucifer. Margaret. And I see that you want to protect Rias-chan, but you don't know what you're getting into, it would be. Issei. I don't want Rias-chan to marry that charlatan, in fact I challenge him to a fight, seriously. Margaret. Are you sure about that? I don't want him to get hurt, nervous. Issei. I am not human, but I am not a demon, angel or fallen angel, I am a Saiyan, seriously. Margaret. Saiyan, I don't know what that race is, it would be. Issei. We are a superior race since we have better skills, so if this bird doesn't accept, it will be a cowardly chicken, mockingly. Razor. What did you call me, annoyed? Issei. You're afraid of fighting a different race, mocking. Razor. We'll have the fight, you don't know how much I'm going to enjoy your defeat, arrogant. Margaret. When will the fight be, curious? Issei. In 10 days if I win, your engagement with Rias will be broken, seriously. Razor. And if I win, what do I get? Seriously. Issei. Go ahead and ask for whatever you want if you win, seriously. Razor. You will be my wife and you will be my servant and part of my entourage too, arrogant. Issei. Done, stretching his hand. Razor then shakes Issei's hand, thus closing the fight deal. Margaret. It will be in the underworld to see what you are made of, it would be. At that Razor leaves and Margaret also in magic circles, but at that Rias asks the girls to leave her alone to talk to Issei, and they nod. Rias. Issei-kun, why did you do that? Worried. Issei. Because I love you Rias-chan, I don't care if you have a good body, I love your sweet personality, your beautiful red hair is like blooming roses, and your eyes are beautiful, blush. Rias blushes at what Issei said about her. Rias. Issei, you love me, blushing. Issei. If you laugh, Chan, you are important to me and I will never leave you. I would give my life to see you safe, blushing. Rias. Issei-kun, I love you too, you're one of the few who doesn't notice my body, you make me happy when I'm sad, you're a real gentleman to me, and you worry about me, blushing. Issei. I promise you that you will be free from that commitment, decided. Meanwhile, Gohan was on Mount Olympus as he proved worthy of being there after defeating Zeus, and we see him in the training camp talking to Hercules. Hercules. Wow, you surpassed my father, surprised. Gohan. It wasn't difficult and thank goodness I didn't use all my power or Zeus would already be dead, serious. Hercules. Who, unbelieving. Gohan. I have phase 2 and 3 of the Super Saiyan, and with all my power I could destroy several planets without a problem, seriously. Hercules is more shocked, but then Athena approaches. Athena. Gohan-kun, I want to talk to you, it would be. Gohan. Of course Athena-chan, blushing. At that Gohan went to accompany Athena where the goddess would speak with Gohan. Athena. Gohan-kun, I was very hurt by what you went through, losing your father and your friends, sad. Gohan. Don't worry Athena-chan, I'm trying to move on, but I'll see what to do now, but in the meantime, I must enjoy this new life, but I will always remember my friends and my father, seriously. Athena. Hey Gohan-kun, and despite having a giant power, you don't conquer the planet, curious. Gohan. Before, Saiyans conquered planets to sell them at a good price, but that's a thing of the past because, you see, the Saiyans were under the orders of a tyrant called Freeze, seriously. Athena. That Freezer was very powerful, curious. Gohan. Yes, and he killed my race, my father, and some survived, but fortunately, years later, my dad killed that bastard, seriously. Athena. I see, it would be. Gohan. I don't deny that you're pretty, Athena. Look, I don't focus on physical appearance, but on feelings, smiling. Athena. That's nice, that's why many women would notice you. You're a true gentleman and a warrior with a pure heart, smiling. Gohan. Athena, I want to show you something, smiling. At that point he comes out and transforms into a Super Saiyan and then concentrates energy in his hand, where little by little, it takes the form of a sword. Gohan. Wow, a Kai sword looks cool, smiling. Athena. Incredible new technique, surprised. While Gohan was on Mount Olympus, days passed and the day came when Issei would face Razor. They arrive at the combat arena where the fight would take place, and then Sirzechs Lucifer, Rias' brother, comes out. Sirzechs was sitting in the Mayu's chair. He would witness a fight between a demon and an unknown race. Margaret. It should be here by now, it would be. Sirzechs. Calm down, love, everything in its own time, smiling. After that comes Issei who learned teleportation thanks to Gohan, but this teleportation was opening a portal with his fingers. Margaret. Welcome to this fight today. The heir of the Phoenix clan will fight against a being of a race called Saiyan, it would be. The entire audience was eager to see the fight between Issei and Razor. Margaret. On this side we have Razor Phoenix, the heir to the Phoenix clan, would be. Razor makes an entrance, impressing all the spectators. Margaret. On this side we have a being of the new race known as the Saiyans, greet Issei, it would be. Issei just looked at Razor coldly, he knows that Razor is a good-for-nothing idiot. Margaret. Let the fight begin, would be. At that Razor launches himself to attack Issei, but he defends himself very easily from him, blocking his punches and kicks without problem. Issei. It's all you have, serious. Razor. Shut up idiot, annoyed. At that point he launches a fire attack, but the Saiyan dodges the attack. Then he decides to hit Razor in the face, and after that the demon looks at him angrily. Razor. You're going to pay dearly, annoyed. And that Issei sees how Razor activates all his power, taking out wings of fire. Razor then hits Issei with a blow that sends him flying, but Issei looks at him angrily. Issei. Let's see if you can handle this, smiling maliciously. At that, he screams, transforming into a Super Saiyan, surprising everyone with the change. Issei. Admire the power of a Saiyan, I present to you the Super Saiyan, serious. Everyone sees that this transformation emanates a lot of power, but in that moment Razor attacks Issei, but he defends himself from the attacks of the heir of the Phoenix clan. Razor. How are you so resistant, annoyed? Issei. It's something you wouldn't understand, idiot, mockingly. And that Issei activates a golden aura and attacks Razor where he received a great beating, but Issei was holding back. Razor. Now you'll see everything, annoyed. And that he decides to use more power where he throws a flame at Issei, causing an explosion to occur. Razor. See, take it, damn, arrogant. Issei then comes out, he wasn't hurt but he was a little singed, but then Razor starts talking again. Razor. When I beat you I'll stay with Rias and I'll enjoy how I make those bitches mine, arrogant. Issei, upon hearing this, became enraged and then let out a scream of anger. Issei. Ah. At that moment, a green energy covers Issei, and when everything becomes clear, Issei had a different appearance. His hair was green, his eyes were completely white, and his muscles were bigger. Issei. No one messes with my Rias and the others, annoyed. At that Razor felt true terror where he started to beat Razor where he kicked him. Goku is a Razor. Everyone felt fear and respect towards Issei where he attacks Razor with multiple attacks. Razor receives the attacks and is quite injured, and his regeneration is slow. Then Issei decides to attack him with blows to the face and chest. Razor. Ah, screaming in pain. Everyone watched as the blood splattered, but then Issei saw that he was unconscious and then moved away from him. Razor's body was destroyed by the beating he received, and then Issei detransformed since he did not want to succumb to power and fall into madness. Margaret. Raw Razor is unconscious so the fight is over, scared. Sirzechs was the most terrified since when Issei was angry, he didn't want to provoke him with anything and subtly asked everyone not to bother Issei. Sirzechs. Since Razor was defeated, my sister's engagement to Razor is officially broken, scared. Issei then approaches Razor. Everyone would think he was going to kill him, but that wasn't the case. In fact, he gives him energy to heal his wounds. Issei. I think I went too far, serious. Then that the Phoenix Patriarchs take an unconscious Razor, but after that Issei is knocked down by someone. It was Rias who was crying. Rias. Thank you Issei-kun for what you did for me, crying. Issei just gets up and hugs Rias with much affection, and then he started to levitate. Issei. A knight protects Princess Rias, you are my princess, I don't like to see you suffer, now you are free to marry whoever you want, seriously. Sirzechs. Issei sent for freeing my sister from an arranged marriage, now you are Rias-chan's fiancé, smiling. Issei. Wait, that's what it means, blushing. Sirzechs. You and Rias will get married, smiling. Issei was very red from what he heard from Sirzechs, but Rias would talk about that. Rias. Issei-kun, I don't care, I want to marry the man I love, and that's you, kissing Issei. Issei blushes for what he did, and Rias gladly accepts the kiss, and then they separate due to lack of air. Sirzechs. Wow, I didn't know about Saiyans, but this makes me afraid of making someone angry, nervous. Issei then leaves with Rias in his arms, but now one of his goals has been fulfilled, and it was to be with Rias, and now nothing will separate them. Now Issei freed his beloved from an arranged marriage, but he still has to deal with other things that will happen. See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 9. Ages past and the Sekiryuutei appear. Previously we saw Issei challenge a demon called Razor Phoenix in order to free Rias from an arranged engagement, but Razor didn't know who he was messing with. While Gohan was still on Mount Olympus where he got to know the goddess Athena better, where he saw that apart from being pretty, she was not for nothing the goddess of wisdom. Present. 2 days after Issei defeated Razor, everyone in the underworld found out that he was of an unknown race, but that he called himself Saiyan. Many looked at him with respect, others with fear. Issei didn't care about anything except the well-being of his beloved and made it clear to the demonic council that if they compromise Rias again without his consent, he would shatter them. The advisors accepted with fear since they know that Issei was much more powerful than them. Meanwhile, Gohan returned home and was greeted by Kuroko who was waiting for him, and she gives him a tender kiss on the lips and then licks his face. Something a bit like this. Kuroko. Gohan, I missed you, playful. Gohan. I'm sorry for keeping you waiting, Kuroko-chan, I had some business, but what happened while I was away? Curious. Kuroko. Oh, nothing interesting, just that Issei defeated a high-class demon and almost lost control with that strange green power, it would be. Gohan was quite worried, he knew he was talking about the legendary Super Saiyan and would talk to Issei later. When Issei returned home, Gohan asked to speak to him where Issei went to the living room. Gohan. I heard you used the legendary Super Saiyan, seriously. Issei. I used it because that idiot asked for it and I only used it for a few minutes to avoid getting corrupted, seriously. Gohan. I understand, this time I let it go. You used it in self-defense and what else happened? Curious. Issei. Now Rias and I are engaged, smiling. Gohan. That's great, Issei, smiling. Issei. Thanks Gohan, smiling. After that the two went to train a little, but Issei was determined to protect everyone he loves. While Rias enters the house but notices Kuroko, but Issei had explained everything to her that Kuroko killed her master to protect Kaneko, but she knows that if she takes her to the underworld she would get into trouble. Kuroko, I see that Issei and you are couple playful. Rias. Yes, but what are you doing here? Serious and curious. Kuroko. I am his friend, but my partner is Gohan-kun, smiling. Rias knows who Gohan was, Issei's mentor and friend, since he told her what his friend and brother figure is like. Later on. Rias' group was in an abandoned warehouse where a rogue demon was seen where Issei was on guard in case things got ugly until eventually a rogue demon came out where they attacked him, but the rogue demon dodged the attacks. A's the night of the estuary she was distracted. At that point the renegade demon was going to eat Asia, but Issei creates an energy attack that eliminates the renegade demon. Rias angrily slaps A's and then complains about him not paying attention. Issei. Rias-chan, I think you went a little too far, serious. After that they went to Issei's house where Rias sees some photos of Issei when he was little and there was one where he was with a girl, but there was a sword behind it that worried A's and he left. Rias explained to Issei about A's past and that the sacred swords bring back bad memories for her. Issei. Now I understand everything, I will talk to her tomorrow. I know what it is like to suffer and I suffered because of my former sisters Issei and Izumi, serious. After that Rias takes off her clothes and Asia too and they both fight over Issei. Issei. Girls, that's enough. You can both sleep with me, scared. At that the two are happy and then they sleep with Issei, but Rainer arrives and she sleeps with Issei. Kuoh Airport. We see a female figure getting out of a plane, but then she went to show some papers. Then the figure leaves the airport and calls a taxi. I'm finally back, I hope to see you little brother, excited. The figure manifests itself in the light showing its appearance. Her name was Chizuru, the eldest daughter of the Hyoudou, and she never mistreated Issei, but she could not be with her little brother because he went to study abroad. Chizuru had already finished university since her intellect was so advanced that she skipped a few grades and now had degrees in careers such as fashion designer, programmer, and publicist. But Chizuru had a secret, she was the Sekiryuutei, carrier of the Empress Mio dragon. Then she arrives at the house she bought since she was independent and after that she would wait until the next morning to see Issei again. The next day. We see Issei who was with Rias in the occult club where Issei saw that A's was not there, this worried him a lot, but then he would look for her, but then Sona and her queen Tsubaki enter. They say they had to talk to Rias and Akeno at Sona's house at night. Later. Issei was looking for A's and managed to find her, but she was training tirelessly and he went to talk to her. Issei. A's-chan, I already know everything that happened to you in the past, seriously. A's. What do you know? It would be. Issei. I know you suffered a lot because of those experiments, but look, revenge won't solve anything. Look, A's may be more powerful than you, but I worry about you, seriously. A's. Issei yo, letting out tears. Issei then approaches to hug the blonde, and at that moment A's began to cry inconsolably. Issei. That's it, A's-chan. Let it all out. I'm here for you. Hugging A's. A's cries like never before, but Issei doesn't stop hugging her, and after that he would talk to her. Issei. A's-chan, you are not alone, I am with you, seriously. A's. I love you, Issei-kun, sobbing. Issei. I love you too, A's-chan, seriously. After that Issei went back to the mansion, but realized that Gohan was not there, nor was Kuroka. Issei. They must have gone out or something, seriously. Issei then went to play a game on the PS5 Pro console. The next day. Two girls came from the church, but when Issei sees them he recognizes one of them as Irina. Issei. Irina-chan, surprised. Irina is in shock, it was Issei, but then she throws herself at him and he accepts the hug. The girls get jealous of how Irina hugs Issei and after a few moments Irina separates from the hug. Irina. Issei-kun, how long, happy. Issei. Quite a bit, and who is your friend, curious. Irina. She is Zenovia, my best friend, smiling. Zenovia. It's a pleasure to meet you, Issei-san, smiling slightly. Issei. And what brings you here? Curious. Zenovia tells about the theft of sacred swords and that those responsible are the fallen angels and that they should not intervene. Issei. I see, serious. Zenovia then realizes that someone was from Asia and then calls her a heretic and was going to kill her, but Issei prevents it. Issei. I won't let you kill my cute Asia, she's not a heretic, cold. Zenovia. But she cured a demon, it would be. Issei. I don't want to hear that bad word, cold. Issei challenges Irina and Zenovia to a sword duel. If he wins, they will apologize to Asia, and if he loses, they will kill Asia. Irina tells Issei that she is sorry that Issei will now be a demon. Issei. Irina-chan, I'm not a demon, seriously. He shows his Saiyan tail where he explains about his race, leaving Irina in shock to know that Issei is from an extraterrestrial race. Issei then manifests an nanotechnologist sword. Issei. I've been practicing fencing since you left, Irina-chan, I hope the best one wins, mockingly. And that both have a sword fight, but Issei more agile than Irina. Meanwhile A's arrived and faces Zenovia, but the blue-haired girl beat A's. Issei ends up beating Irina, and then since Issei won, Irina and Zenovia apologize to Asia. Meanwhile. We see Chizuru with the Red Empress dragon armor. Chizuru. I detect a great power, but for some reason it is familiar to me, it would be. Then she gets dragon wings where she went to see where that strange power was, but she doesn't know that it's Issei's. Issei must now find the person responsible for the theft of the sacred swords, but he doesn't know that he will meet Chizuru again. What will happen? See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 10. Gabriel's attack. Previously we saw how Issei helped Rias and her entourage against a renegade demon where he learned about Aize's past, who was used as a lab rat for a sacred sword project. Then Gohan returned home after his stay on Mount Olympus, but he found out how Issei defeated Razor using the legendary phase of the Super Saiyan, but he held back so as not to kill Razor. But Issei's older sister Chizuru, who is the Sekiryuutei, also appeared, and Issei met Erina, his childhood friend, and learned about the theft of the sacred swords. Present. After training, Erina and Zenobia accepted their defeat and apologized to Asia, but then Gohan arrives, and everyone is surprised. Issei. Say hello to my mentor and brother Gohan, smiling. Gohan. Nice to meet you friends, by the way Issei, I detect a strong presence approaching, seriously. Then a girl in red armor arrives with a sword in her hand. Rias. She is the Sekiryuutei, surprised. Issei looks at her seriously wherein that her energy for some reason was familiar to him, but in that the Sekiryuutei lowers and the armor disappears, revealing who it was. Issei recognizes her as his older sister Chizuru, but then the girl hugs Issei with great joy. Chizuru. Issei little brother I missed you so much, crying. Issei. Yeah, sister, I missed you too, sad. Rias. Wait, they know each other, surprised. Issei. She's my older sister, she wasn't involved, seriously. Rias. Well, I'm Rias Gremory, Issei's fiancé, would be. Chizuru. Kai and my little brother is growing up, crying. Rias. Issei your sister is quite nice not like others, would be. Chizuru. Wait, what happened in the time I was gone, curious. Issei told his older sister everything that happened after she went to study abroad. Chizuru. Damn you how dare you, annoyed. Gohan. Mental note not to make Issei's sister angry, nervous. At that moment Chizuru notices Gohan, and when she sees him she blushes a lot since they were both the same age. Chizuru. Little brother, who is your friend? Blushing. Issei. He is my mentor and my brother figure is called Gohan, smiling. Chizuru. Kai he is very handsome. After all that Chizuru announced her return, but when the Hyoudou went to see her she confronted them and found out that Issei and Izumi. Total. Izumi. Chizuru. You supposedly promised me to take care of him, not to abuse him, and to top it off, the happy family I grew up with became greedy, annoyed. Boru and Mickey realize that everything their eldest daughter said is true. Chizuru then gives her younger sisters a good slap as punishment for what they did to Issei when he was little. Chizuru. This is just starting, annoyed. After that, she drags the two of them away and then leaves them hanging from a tree with a pair of Chinese underwear and uploads the photos on social media. Later. Issei was training with Gohan where both were in Super Saiyan, but then Chizuru arrives since she felt the powers of both, and then she approaches. Chizuru. Hey, why is your hair a different color? If it was black, it would be. Issei. Sister, we are Saiyans, seriously. Chizuru. I don't know that race, it would be. Gohan. Let me explain it to you well, seriously. And that he tells him everything about the Saiyans and how they are, that despite having human form they have a monkey tail. After that, Chizuru observes how the training of both is where she saw that they could easily eliminate the factions, but they were not so evil to do that. Later. Issei was with Sally, Sona's pawn, since he asked her to help him. Sally. Issei, if Sona finds out about everything, she'll punish me, nervous. Issei. Don't worry, Sona-chan won't do anything to you. I'll talk to her, seriously. Issei talks to Sona about what he plans to do, but he would do anything so that she doesn't punish Sally, and Sona asks him for a day with him and Issei accepted. After that, Kaneko joins, where Aize also joins them, and when they arrived at a place, Freed appears, along with a guy that Aize recognizes as Bulba Galilei. Aize fights against Freed, but he had a sacred sword, but in that Issei beats Freed up. While Aize fights against Bulba, he and Freed end up escaping. The next day. Erina was found injured, and then she barely manages to tell them that a cadre was behind everything, and then Tsubaki takes her away to heal her. Meanwhile. Gohan was with Chizuru because she asked him to go with him to a place, and she asks Gohan how he became Issei's mentor. He told everything since he was a child and everything he lived and how he lost many people he loved, but also how he came to this dimension, and how he decided to take care of Issei becoming his mentor. Gohan. You're the same age as me, but well, you see, Issei is like a little boy who didn't have a good life, but I'm trying to give him the life I didn't have, seriously. Then they feel a powerful energy, and then a subject with dark wings appears. Chizuru, es Gabriel Syria. Gohan, Gabriel, confundido. Chizuru. Is a cadre that is very powerful and has 12 wings, seriously. Gabriel. Well, but if it's the Sekiryuutei, now your sacred gear will be a collection, mockingly. Gohan. What an idiot you are, seriously. Gabriel. As you told me, annoyed. At that Gohan stands in front of him and punches him in the face. Gabriel gets angry, but then he creates a spear of light which he throws at Gohan, but he dodges it. Gabriel. I see you're from a race one don't know, seriously. At that point he throws a smoke bomb which he takes advantage of to escape, and Gohan realizes that the guy escaped. Gohan. He escaped, but where did he go, serious. After that the Saiyan realizes that Gabriel is heading to the academy, and then he tells Chizuru that Gabriel is heading to the academy. Chizuru. Because he will be attacking the academy, would be. Gohan. If he wants to provoke a war, he's going to kill Issei's fiancé to make the fallen angels and the demons enter into a war, because they told me that years ago there was a holy war, but it ended with a cost, lives of important beings were lost like the biblical god, Lucifer and the mass Leviathan, Asmodeus, Beelzebub etc, seriously. At that Gohan asks Chizuru to take his hand, and then he does the teleportation like his father Goku did. Then they arrive at the academy where Gabriel was and he summons a Cerberus. Gohan. Issei, you take care of the three-headed dog, I'll go for the effeminate bird, serious. Issei nods and then he stands in front of Gabriel, and the cadre looks at him seriously. Gabriel. So again you ask me what will happen now, mockingly. In this he creates a magic circle where many spears of light come out. But Gohan dodges the spears, and then he flies and hits him in the face, but then he launches several magical attacks, and then Gohan launches an energy attack. Gabriel then summons another Cerberus, but Chizuru fights against him. After that Gabriel would speak taking advantage of the fact that he dodged an attack from the Saiyan with difficulty. Gabriel. Something you don't know is that in the Holy War not only the original mass died, but also God and Lucifer, laughing. Everyone is in shock, but Asia and Zenobia faint upon learning that God was dead and the demons too. Arena. If God is dead, who made the blessings, would it be? Gabriel. Michael has done all that since God died, seriously. In that he creates several attacks where everyone covers themselves, but in that Chizuru was going to receive a great spear of light, but Gohan manages to destroy the spear. Gohan. Damn unhappy, annoyed. In that, out of anger, he transforms into a Super Saiyan. Gabriel realizes the level of power, and it was monstrous. At that point, Gohan began to give Gabriel the beating of his life, where Gabriel grabbed him by the neck. Gabriel. Don't kill me, begging. Gohan. Oh, the great Gabriel is begging you, pathetic, now out of my sight, serious. Then he throws Gabriel into the sky and charges an attack. Gohan, Kamehameha throwing the attack. At that point the attack hits Gabriel and begins to disintegrate him. Gabriel. Being disintegrated. Gabriel was dead, and then the barrier that Gabriel put up was destroyed, and a female figure in white armor appeared. Chizuru. Is the White Empress Dragon, would be. Gohan. Who, serious. Chizuru. She is my rival since I am the Red Empress Dragon, would be. Where is Gabriel, would be. Gohan. He's dead, serious. Issei. But take this crazy guy away, throwing Fried away. You're ignoring me Alba, it would be. Alba. Wow, you have an interesting carrier, mockingly. Then both dragons talk, and then the Sekiryuutei leaves with Fried, and Gohan uses a spell to restore the damage. Later. Zenobia joins Rias' entourage, and then Arena takes what remains of the swords, but she says goodbye to Issei with a kiss on the lips. This made the girls who loved Issei jealous. Gohan. Gohan was with Chizuru where she thanks the Saiyan for saving her from certain death, but then Kuroka appears. Kuroka. Naya Gohan-kun, who is she, jealous. Chizuru. Oh, I see you like my alpha, mockingly. Gohan. You're alpha, confused. Chizuru. I'm sorry Gohan-kun, but you are my alpha since I didn't tell Issei, but I am half dragon by a ritual, but when I saw you are my alpha male, I want to be with you, it would be. Kuroka. I won't let you take it away from me, jealous. At that point, both of them started pulling on his arms. He decided not to get involved because he knew that getting into a girl fight would be suicide. From a distance Issei watched, but he already knew that his sister was attracted to Gohan. Issei. I knew that would happen, I'm not one to get involved in that. I didn't decide that my sister would be Gohan's partner, it was her decision, I better go, seriously. Issei flies away, but now he has to go with Sona to fulfill his promise to spend a whole day with her. Now war was avoided because Gabriel was killed, but later there will be a meeting that will happen. See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 11. Beach Day. Previously we saw Gohan and Issei helping the girls, since it turns out that the person in charge of the Sacred Sword project was a cadre called Gabriel who wanted to start a war between the factions. Fortunately, Gohan eliminated Gabriel, but he did this so that Gabriel would not cause a war by hurting innocent people and because Gabriel reminded him of Rias due to his deranged attitude. Present. After killing Gabriel, everyone went to their homes and thanks to magic, he was able to restore the damage so that no one would suspect that there was a fight in the academy and now we see Gohan and Issei, both were planning something for the weekend and that was a beach day with the girls. Now we see Chizuru with her Sekiryuutei armor. She was training her Kai since Gohan told her that he would teach her Kai. Chizuru. This is great, smiling but it wasn't noticeable. Gohan. I see you learn quickly, smiling. Chizuru. I already know how to fly, but I'm missing Kai attacks, it would be. Gohan. I know you'll do it, smiling. After training both stopped training until eventually both returned home. Meanwhile, Issei was with Rias and his entourage where he spoke about how they avoided war, but because of this a meeting with the faction leaders would be held. Issei. Although Gohan will also go because he was the one who killed Gabriel, serious. Rias. I know Issei-kun, but at least we're glad the Saiyans are on our side, smiling. Issei. Yes, smiling. Bakeno. Issei-kun, you promised that you would take us to the amusement park, smiling. Issei. True, but I promised Sona that I would take her on a date so that she wouldn't punish Sally, seriously. After that we see Issei waiting for Sona for the date and when she arrives, Issei takes her to a restaurant. Elsewhere. Gohan was with Kuroka, she was training with the Saiyan since she wanted to learn from him and Gohan agreed to train her in a certain way, it reminded him of Trunky. When Kuroka learned to fly she felt free and was able to combine her magic with Kai. Gohan. Well done Kuroka-chan, smiling. Kuroka. Thanks Naya, blushing. From a distance Chizuru saw everything and was jealous that Kuroka had Gohan's attention. Chizuru. Who does that cat think she is to be with my Gohan, would be. Then another voice is heard and that was that of mine the Dragon Empress. Leo. I just hope that the white woman doesn't think of taking it away from you, it would be. While Chizuru watched, Gohan continued training with Kuroka and when they finished, they returned to the mansion. Later on. Gohan was dressed in a blue short-sleeved shirt and shorts of the same color with orange details and Issei was wearing a sleeveless shirt and red and white shorts. Gohan. I've been waiting for this day, let's go to the beach with the girls, smiling. After that the girls arrive in beach dresses and were preparing to go to the beach and then everyone left through a magic circle that had Gohan's symbol. Gohan's magic circle. Then they appeared on a beach that Gohan knew quite well. Gohan. I know this beach, only I know the location so no one knows where it is and that way I keep the perverts away, seriously. Rias. I understand, it would be. At that Issei and Gohan set up chairs where the girls sit since Issei and Gohan were very attentive to them. Then Gohan takes out a grill since he would make the food later and then the girls take off their beach dresses, revealing their swimsuits. Rias. This is a nice day when we can relax, smiling. Issei. By the way, where is Zenobia, curious. At that moment, Zenobia arrives with her swimsuit on. Zenobia. Sorry for the delay, it's just that this is the first time I've worn a swimsuit, it would be. Issei. They wouldn't let you swim, confused. Zenobia. It's not that, but I was never attracted to being so feminine, it would be. Gohan. Hey, how about we put on sunscreen to avoid sunburns, seriously. Then that Gohan put sunscreen on Kuroka and Chizuru, while Issei put sunscreen on Rias and the others. After that Gohan and Issei take out a ball to play volleyball and in that they team up 2 against 2 Gohan and Kuroka against Issei and Rias. Gohan. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, the important thing is to have fun, smiling. After that they play volleyball for a while until eventually both teams end up in a tie. Issei. Let's go swimming, smiling. Then they entered the water, but Rias told Issei that Kaneko and Asia didn't know how to swim and he offered to teach them. As Gohan gets out of the water he started to light the grill and then started to cook some burgers. Gohan. They're going to be great, I know that, smiling. While Gohan was cooking the food, Issei taught Kaneko and Asia how to swim, both of them thanked him with a kiss on the lips. While Kuroka was sitting on a beach chair, Kaneko approached her. Kuroka. Little sister, I won't leave you alone again, but now you know the truth, curious. Kaneko. Yes sister, I know that you killed our former master to protect me, it would be. Kuroka. Well, I must teach you how to master the Nekomata power so that you don't lose control, it would be. Kaneko. Thank you, but I detect another energy in you, it would be. Kuroka. Gohan Naya taught me the Kai little sister, smiling. After lunch is ready, Gohan calls everyone to eat and then everyone started eating the hamburgers that Gohan had prepared. Later. Gohan calls Issei to go surfing where he agrees and they both take a surfboard and start surfing. Gohan. This is great surfing, smiling. Issei. Yes, enjoy life when we are not fighting, smiling. After that, they both continued surfing while the girls sunbathed with sunglasses on. The beach day was spectacular for Gohan, Issei and the girls, since they deserved a rest after defeating Gabriel, but later comes the meeting with the factions that will happen, see it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 12. Meeting of factions. Previously we saw how Gohan defeated Gabriel, and after that Zenovia joined Rias' entourage, and then Arena went to deliver the remaining swords. But not only that, Gohan, Issei and the others also spent time at the beach where everyone had a lot of fun on the beach where Gohan made good food and he and Issei surfed while the girls enjoyed the fun on the beach. Present. After the beach day, everyone returned to Gohan's mansion, but Sirzechs arrived to talk to Rias, where he told her that he had to talk to Issei, and she agreed. In a room. Sirzechs was sitting in an armchair and looked at Issei with curiosity. He wanted to know more about his sister's fiancé. Sirzechs. Issei, you really surprised me when you defeated Razor, although it pains me to hear that your race was exterminated by a certain freezer, seriously. Issei. How do you know that? Surprised. Sirzechs. I spoke with your mentor Gohan and he told me about the Saiyans, but at least I know you can be trusted. You made my sister happy, but one more thing, remind me not to make you angry, nervous. Issei. Don't worry, I won't do anything to them because we are allies and a family, smiling. Sirzechs. Thanks Issei, now I see why Rias loves you, smiling. Issei. I'll go get a soda. Do you want one, brother-in-law? Smiling. Sirzechs. Sure, give me a cherry soda, smiling. Issei went for some sodas and meanwhile Gohan was training but was watched by a woman with silver hair and made clothes. It was Grayfia, a powerful demon, but she was looking at Gohan without knowing that Kuroko saw this. Kuroko. Hey, what are you doing here watching my Gohan? Whisper. Grayfia doesn't notice Kuroko, but after that Gohan talks to Sirzechs telling him about what really happened with Kuroko's master. Also as evidence he showed Kuroko's memories and what really happened. Now Sirzechs had everything he needed to erase Kuroko's record, so she would no longer be wanted as a criminal. Later on. It was Parents' Day at Kuoh Academy and we see how the teacher asks them to make a sculpture, but Issei saw his ex-parents, something that bothered him a little, but then Gohan arrives who was there for Issei. Teacher. Who are you? Curious. Gohan. I am son Gohan, Issei's mentor and father figure, smiling. Everyone was surprised, but the women, especially the single mothers, looked at Gohan with heart-shaped eyes because of how handsome he was. Everyone makes a sculpture, but when Issei made his he made a clay car. Everyone was amazed at how perfect the car Issei had designed was and Gohan took a photo for the memory. Later. Gohan and Issei were walking, but then they heard a commotion and when they went to see there was a girl with long black hair tied in pigtails, violet eyes, but she was wearing strange clothes which were cosplay. Sally chases away the students who see the girl, something that bothered them, but an angry look made it clear to them that if they didn't leave, they would face the consequences. Sally. Miss Serafal, why did you come dressed like that? Would be. Issei. Hello Sally, everything is fine, smiling. Sally. Keep the perverts away, but Miss Serafal, why are you dressed like that? It would be. At that moment Gohan approaches but Serafal, upon seeing him, turns very red and happy to see him again. Serafal. Gohan, how nice to see you, excited. Issei. Wait, they already knew each other, surprised. Gohan. Yes, Serafal is the first friend I made when I arrived. Hey, Serafal, what brings you here? Smiling. Serafal. I heard about Gabriel and I wanted to see you since I knew you defeated him saving my little sister, smiling. Gohan. Who is your sister, confused. Then Sona arrives, but Serafal hugs her, something that makes Sona uncomfortable. Issei. Wait, she's your sister Sona-chan, surprised. Sona. Yes, she is my sister, she would be. Then Chizuru arrives and sees Serafal. Then they both introduce themselves. But then two people arrived, they were the parents of Rias, Zeodicus and Venelana. Zeodicus. I see that you are our daughter's fiancé, looking at Issei. Issei. Yes it's me, why, confused. Venelana. We wanted to meet you in person, smiling. While Issei meets his in-laws, Serafal kept hugging Gohan, something that made Chizuru jealous. Chizuru. Who does she think she is to hug my Gohan? After Serafal's hug, the Hyoudou looked at Issei, but Chizuru gave them a look of disgust because now that she knows all the mistreatment. The Hyoudou felt a great guilt since when Chizuru scolded them, they understood that they did wrong. Later. Gohan was with Serafal where she told him that since he killed Gabriel, he had to attend the faction meeting, he agreed, and meanwhile we see Issei who was with Akeno, she asked him to accompany him. Then she shows her priestess kimono, but leaves her back exposed, but her wings were exposed, revealing that one of them was a fallen angel's. Issei. Akeno-chan, why are you sad, confused? Akeno. You see, I'm half fallen angel. Just look, I have one wing of demons and the other of a fallen angel. You must already think I'm a phenomenon, sad. Issei. Akeno-chan, I don't care what species you are, I love you very much. Look, my first girlfriend is a fallen angel and we are happy. I don't know why you feel bad. Look, I don't judge anyone and as proof of my love for you, seriously. Issei turns to Akeno and kisses her on the lips. Akeno sheds tears but accepts the kiss, where she hugs him while they both kiss. Chizuru. She met Michael who gave her the Ascalon sword where she told him that she would use it responsibly, and after that we see Gohan who was with Seraphol. She looked in amazement at the Super Saiyan 3, since in the previous years, Gohan had to tell her his story where Seraphol was saddened because Gohan lost his father to an illness and his friends because of the androids. Gohan. I already have the Super Saiyan 3, but I feel like I still have a lot to show, but to date I haven't broken my limits, seriously. Seraphol. Gohan-kun, I want to ask you something, blushing. Gohan. What a Seraphol thing, curious. Seraphol. I want a date with you, you promised me a date, pouting. Gohan. It's true, serious. Then Gohan went with Seraphol on a date while she hugged him, putting her breasts on Gohan's muscular arm. Later on. Issei was with Rias where they went to free Rias' second bishop, and when they open said room, they see a girl with short hair. The outside is scary, scared. Rias. Oh Anna-chan, I'm glad to see you, it's time for you to go out, smiling. Anna. I don't want to, I'm scared. After that they take her out where they ask her to use her sacred gear, but Anna didn't want to because she was scared, and after that they try to take away her fear, but they can't. Later. Issei entered the room and arrived to talk to Anna to help her. Issei. Anna-chan, don't be afraid, I want you to like me, smiling. Anna. It's just that I'm scared and what if I hurt someone, shedding tears. Issei then approaches Anna and hugs her a little. The girl, feeling the warmth, hugs Issei. Issei. You see, Anna-chan, when I was little, just like you, I was quite scared, but look, I know you're scared, but look, Anna, we all have some fears, seriously. Anna. You mean it, surprised. Issei. Yes Anna-chan, you see, I was quite scared like you, but look, being brave doesn't mean not being scared, it means being scared and doing it anyway, look, I can help you, smiling. Anna. Issei-kun thank you, sobbing. Then he helps her control her power, and in a short time she managed to do it, and then Anna freezes time and the others to give Issei a tender kiss on the lips, and he accepts the kiss. Meeting day. The leaders arrive, who are the following. On behalf of the angels were Michael and his sister Gabriel, but also Irina. On the side of the fallen angels were Azazel and the Penemu cadre and Valerie the bearer of the White Empress dragon. On the part of the demons were Sirzechs, Seraphol, Rias Gremory and her entourage, as well as Sona Sitri and her entourage. But the guests were Gohan, Issei and Chizuru, but Gabriel and Penemu looked at Gohan as well as Seraphol. Sirzechs. Now that we are reunited we know what happened to Gabriel, it would be. Azazel. I didn't know what Gabriel was doing, serious. Penemu. Go do your job, seriously. After that they would talk about whether they choose peace or war, and it was Chizuru and Valerie's turn to be the Sekiryuutei and the Sekiryuutei. Valerie. If I can fight with strong beings, I will choose peace, smiling. Chizuru. I choose peace, smiling. Azazel. And what do you choose since I know about the Saiyans because Rainer-chan told me and don't worry, she was threatened by Gabriel, so don't be afraid, smiling. Issei. I choose peace, smiling. Gohan. And me too, smiling. But then time freezes where they see that a barrier was placed over the academy and many sorcerers come out. Rias. Anna is in danger along with Kaneko, it would be. Issei. I'm going to save her, seriously. At that Issei teleports to where he went to rescue Anna, but then a dark-skinned girl with somewhat provocative clothes appears. Sirzechs. But Kateria Leviathan is the descendant of the original Mao Leviathan, seriously. Kateria. I came for what is mine, seriously. Seraphol. Kateria-chan calm down, I don't want to fight, nervous. But then some attacks are directed towards the leaders, but Gohan deflects them and realizes that he saw those attacks somewhere. This one comes out and to his horror it was the androids. Gohan. Damn androids, how did they get here, cold. Android 17. Well, since we're going to kill you, that idiot Trunky attacked us, but a portal absorbed us, but we arrived here. Now we see that you're still alive, we're going to kill you, and we'll have fun destroying cities, mockingly. Android 18. This time you won't escape, smiling maliciously. And that Gohan transforms into a Super Saiyan where he looks at the beings who killed his friends and killed innocent people and destroyed much of his home. Gohan then fights against the androids, and now that he controlled the Super Saiyan, he could now take on both of them at the same time. In that Gohan fights against Android 17, but in that 18 joins, but now Gohan was more powerful than before, and in that he attacks the androids and creates a Kai sword, where with said sword he cuts off 17's arm. Android 17. Screaming in pain. Android 18 went to attack Gohan, but he terrifyingly cut off her hand. Android 18. Screaming in pain. Teteria watched as Gohan fought. This surprised her a lot. From the beginning, she was attracted to the Saiyan, but now she was in love. Teteria decides to give up because she knows she couldn't beat Gohan. Back to the fight. Gohan looked at both androids, who looked quite scared at Gohan, since he was now much more powerful. Android 17. Company Kuoh, how did you get so strong, seriously? Gohan. Now I'll finish you, killer junk, seriously. Android 18. Please don't kill us, scared. Gohan. Don't kill them. You killed my friends, and if that wasn't enough, you destroyed cities and killed men, women and children, annoyed. At that Gohan charges a Kamehameha and throws it at the androids, causing them to explode. Everyone saw the brutality with which Gohan killed the androids, but those who knew the story like Sirzechs, Seraphol, Michael, Gabriel, Rias, Sona and the Gremory and Sitri entourages. Teteria. How brutal that he defeated those two is something so exciting, I'm in love, excited. The girls who were interested in Gohan get jealous. But in that he dodges an attack from Valerie, who was wearing his armor. Azazel. So you betrayed us, Valerie, seriously. Valerie. This side is more fun, mocking. Thus, Valerie reveals that she is Lucifer's great-granddaughter and that she has a lot of power, but Chizuru fights against her. Chizuru. So you are a demon, well now I must defeat you, it would be. Valerie. Do you think you can defeat me? Once I do, I'll keep my Gohan-kun, seductive. Chizuru. I won't let an old woman like you take it away from me, cold. Valerie. As you told me, I won't forgive you, that's why I'm young and beautiful, annoyed. In that, both have a brutal fight, but Chizuru had the advantage because she trained with Gohan. Issei. So those were the androids, seriously. Gohan. Yes, but now I've eliminated them forever, seriously. Issei. I didn't get involved because it was your fight, seriously. Meanwhile Chizuru accesses the Juggernaut drive, since thanks to training Chizuru mastered the Juggernaut drive 100%. Valerie, with no other option, accesses the Juggernaut drive. Chizuru fights seriously against Valerie, but in the same way, Chizuru was more powerful than Valerie because the difference was clear. One completely dominates the Juggernaut drive, but the other almost completely dominates it. Chizuru. I control the Juggernaut drive at 100% and you barely control it, mockingly. Valerie. How do you master it 100%, incredulous. Chizuru. Training with Gohan-kun has its advantages, it would be. In that, both continue fighting until Chizuru, tired of playing, launches an attack that destroys Valerie's armor, leaving her quite injured. Valerie. Who would say I was defeated by my rival, would be. At that Chizuru transforms, but then the barrier breaks where a girl with monkey features is seen. Valerie. Betsy, you're a little late, it would be. Betsy. Valerie-chan, what happened to you, surprised. Valerie. My rival defeated me, it would be. Betsy. That'll teach you not to be so conceited, it would be. Valerie. Anyway, we're leaving, but Gohan-kun is my man now, and we'll have babies, seductive. Chizuru. Shut up, he's mine, hugging Gohan. Valerie. This is not over, Chizuru, Gohan-kun will be mine, and I will train hard to defeat you. You were lucky, but next time I will defeat you, it would be. And that Valerie goes with Betsy in a magic circle where the leaders make the alliance. Teteria. I'll go with you, Gohan-kun, seductive. Gohan. Well, I have no problem if it's so you change for the better, that's fine, seriously. Then everyone went home since it was a heavy night, but Gohan used a spell to rebuild the academy so that no one would suspect that there was a fight. Now Gohan finished off the androids, but he will have another encounter with another Saiyan that will happen. See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 13 Journey to the Underworld. Previously we saw how Gohan went to the academy for Parents' Day and he introduced himself as Issei's mentor and father figure where he meets Seraphol again. But then he and Issei went to the faction meeting where they were attacked by some magicians, but not only that, but Kateria Leviathan appeared where she surrenders, but it is also revealed that Valerie is Lucifer's great-granddaughter. But Android 17 and 18 also appeared, but Gohan managed to eliminate them once and for all, but Kateria left with Gohan. Present. After the faction meeting, everyone returned to their homes, but Kateria was clinging to Gohan, something that bothered Kuroka since she didn't like Kateria being like that. Kuroka. Stay away from Gohan Naya, it would be. Kateria. But it's little Kuroka, mockingly. Gohan. Wait, they know each other, surprised. Kuroka. Let's say we've known each other for years and she was the first friend I made, would be. Kateria. He saved me from being locked up, dear, hugging Gohan. Gohan. Girls, don't fight, how about tomorrow we go for ice cream, smiling. The two nod and after that they went to sleep with Gohan, and after that Issei arrived since he had spoken with Rias about a date they would have later. The next day. They were all in the occult club, but then Azazel arrives to tell them that he is an advisor, something that bothered Rias and Sona, but they understood the reasons, but Gohan was not there because he was not part of the occult club like Kateria and Kuroka. Rias. The holidays are coming up, I want you to come with me to the underworld, smiling. After that the last class takes place before announcing the holidays, and after that Issei went home and told Gohan, since he was also invited to the underworld. Later on. Everyone was on a train and we see Gohan and Issei playing cards, Hana playing with a console that Issei bought her, Rias and Akeno, along with Ace and Kaneko looked at Issei, but also the Sitri entourage. Tizuru was talking to Kuroka since thanks to Gohan and Issei Kuroka is no longer seen as a criminal. But then the train stops and they are attacked by a huge dragon, but Chizuru fights it off. Tizuru puts up a good fight until Azazel asks them to stop since it was all a test to see how they react to a surprise attack. Azazel. Wow, Tannin, you really surprised them, mockingly. Tannin. Whatever, seriously. Chizuru. Wait did you know who the dragon was? It would be. Mio. If it's Tannin, he's a good friend of mine, would be. Rias. Since they are dirty, let's take a bath, smiling. Then he guides them to where there are hot springs, but there were two sections, one for boys and one for girls. Gohan was naked showing his great physique, but he had a towel around his waist just like Issei. Gohan. This is very relaxing, smiling. Issei. It's quite nice to be here and have a nice hot spring bath, smiling. Then the two of them sat down while enjoying their bath but were watched by the girls since the girls' bathroom was upstairs. Rias. Issei is like a god with that physique, excited. Kuroka. Gohan Naya is very strong, look at those muscles, smiling. Akeno. Both of them are handsome and I want to touch those muscles, blushing. Chizuru. You're not the only one, Akeno, blushing. While the girls continue with their bath we see Gohan talking to Azazel. Azazel. I'm surprised about the Saiyans, smiling. Gohan. Yes, unfortunately the damn Frieza eliminated the Saiyans, luckily my dad managed to kill him, seriously. Azazel. Hey, I'm sorry for everything you went through. I know what it's like to lose a father, something sad. Gohan. Azazel, at least you're someone I can trust, but at least I managed to finish off those damn androids before they commit another genocide, seriously. Azazel. Yes, well Gohan, we are happy to have you and Issei as allies, smiling. Gohan. Well, conquering that is in the past, although of course Issei and I never did that, seriously. Azazel. I understand another thing, how powerful you are, curious. Gohan. We are capable of destroying a planet with just a little of our power, seriously. After that the others continue with their bath until they finish and went to the Gremory palace. After that they enter and see many butlers and maids, but are greeted by a small child. Aunt Rias, excited. The little one hugs Rias and she gladly accepts the hug. Issei. Oh Rias, who is the little one? Curious. Rias. Oh, it's Milika's, my brother's and Margaret's son, smiling. Milika's. Aunt Rias, I'm glad to see you and those who are with you, curious. After that they arrive at the room where Venelana was waiting for them and she approaches to talk to Issei. Venelana. You're finally here, Issei, smiling. Issei. Hello Venezuelan-sama, smiling. Venelana. Issei-kun without formalities, remember we are family now because you and Rias are engaged, smiling. Issei. True, I forgot that detail, sadly. Venelana. They want to join us for dinner, smiling. Everyone nods and then they all go to the dining room where they serve a lot of food to Issei and Gohan, but of course they eat politely to avoid problems and not look like rude people. Zeoticus. Issei-san, smiling. Issei. Yes, curious. Zeoticus. How did your engagement to my daughter go? Curious. Issei. She is quite nice and has a strong character, smiling. Zeoticus. By the way, I was thinking of giving you your own house as a gift, smiling. Issei. It's true, curious. Zeoticus. Of course, smiling. Issei. I don't know what to say, sorry. After that, dinner continues as normal. At night. Gohan was in one room and Issei in another, but both were somewhat uncomfortable because the rooms are huge. Gohan. It's bigger than Bulma's house, seriously. But then there's a knock on the door and Gohan tells them they can come in and it turns out to be Kuroka and Chizuru. Kuroka. Gohan Naya let's talk, sad. Gohan. What's going on, confused. Moments later. Gohan. Why, confused. Kuroka. I don't want to sleep alone in a huge room, clinging to Gohan's arm. Chizuru. It's comfortable sleeping with you, clinging to Gohan's other arm. Gohan. Well, go to sleep, there's training tomorrow, seriously. And that the three slowly fall asleep, and while Issei was accompanied by Asia and Zenobia. The next day. The training was assigned where Tannin would train Chizuru and Gohan and Issei would train together where both access their most powerful forms. Both train in their most powerful forms, but Gohan creates a barrier to avoid destroying any nearby houses. As the days of training pass, Issei masters the legendary Super Saiyan a little more, but at least he can use it for longer without going mad. Meeting day. We see Gohan, who was wearing formal clothes, which is the same one he wore during the parents' meeting. Issei was wearing an outfit that had been designed for him, luckily it didn't constrict his body. Both entered the meeting of young demons where everyone looks at them because Sirzechs told them about the Saiyans, and they also saw the fight between Issei and Razor weeks ago. Rias. You guys look very handsome, but especially you, Issei, blushing. Hiroka. Gohan Naya, you look elegant, something I like, smiling. After that they hear a fight and Issei sees a girl and a boy. I see that you are still the same tantrum throwing Zephyr, it would be. Zephyr. Look who says it, the silly Seekvaira, the virgin spinster, mocking. Issei. Seriously, how immature, seriously. But then someone comes to stop the fight. It was a black-haired boy. Rias. Seikvaira, surprised. Seikvaira. Don't worry, I'll take care of this, seriously. Then he approaches where the two demons are. Seikvaira. Stop fighting, princess of the OK clan, Seekvaira, and problem child Zephyr, seriously. Zephyr. Since you called me, you'd better shut up cold. Seikvaira. Consider this your last warning, seriously, and cracking his fists. And that Zephyr attacks him, but Seikvaira sends him flying with a blow, and after that Rias tells them that Seikvaira is from the Bale clan and at the same time Rias' cousin. Issei. Oh, I see, serious. But then someone touched Ria's back, and when she turned around she saw that it was the girl who was in Razor's entourage. Issei. Wait, I saw you in that blonde's entourage, serious. That's right, and I'm your sister Ravel and I'm here to talk to you, it would be. Issei. Why, curious. Ravel. You were very brutal in that fight, but since Razor lost, he has changed and is no longer as arrogant as before, something I appreciate from you and for not killing him, relieved. Issei. Oh, I see, serious. Ravel. That's why I want to give you something, gives him a container. Issei. What is it, curious? Ravel. You'll see, smiling. After that the meeting continues with its course, but another faction leader would arrive in a few minutes, who will see it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 14. A hidden danger. Previously we saw after the meeting how during the holidays Rias decides to go to the underworld with her entourage and the others were invited to the meeting of young demons. But on the trip they met Tannin, a dragon, but then they went to the Gremory palace where Issei and Gohan train a little, and when the meeting occurs, Issei meets Rias' cousin named Seikvaira. But not only that, but he met Ravel's sister and she revealed to him what happened to Ravel after the battle where he changed. Present. We are at the meeting of young demons where Sirzechs appears with his wife Margaret, but then Azazel and Michael arrive, but accompanied by Penemu and Gabriel. Sirzechs. Today we have another guest, the leader of the Nordic faction Odin, smiling. Azazel. And when he arrived, curious. Sirzechs. He should be coming soon, smiling. At that moment, a man with long hair and a beard arrived, but he was accompanied by a woman with silver hair. Odin. Greetings leaders, Odin has arrived, smiling. Sirzechs. Oh Lord Odin, it's a pleasure to welcome you, and who's accompanying you? Smiling. Odin. She is one of the strongest Valkyries, her name is Roswis, smiling. At that moment, Seraphol, who was wearing formal clothes, approached. Seraphol. How are you, Lord Odin, smiling. Odin. Well, listen, your clothes look like grandma's, mockingly. Seraphol then changes her clothes to those of the magical girl, something that surprised everyone. Odin. Something unexpected but okay, smiling. Roswis. Mr. Odin, behave yourself, it would be. Odin. Oh Roswis, you're always bitter, that's why you're single, seriously. At that Roswis tears come out of her eyes and she becomes sad. Then she bursts into tears, something that made all the guests uncomfortable, but someone was looking at Roswis, that was Gohan. Gohan. Poor thing, sad. After that the meeting continues with its course, but when Odin was going to sign to be part of the alliance, they are interrupted by an attack. The cause was a white-haired man. Odin. Loki, what are you doing, seriously? Loki. It's not obvious, father, I don't want you to make an alliance with these beings, seriously. Odin. Loki, don't start this, just go to Asgard and we'll talk there, seriously. But Loki doesn't listen to him and then he summons a wolf-like creature, Fenrir. At that moment the beast attacks, but Issei intervenes since he would fight the beast while Gohan changes into his combat clothes and then he fights against Loki. Gohan. I don't know what you want, but I won't let you get away with it, serious. Loki. Insignificant mortal, you are challenging a god, seriously. Gohan then hits Loki in the face, where the god crashes into the wall, something that infuriates him, but he attacks Gohan, but the Saiyan defends himself very well. After fighting and seeing that Fenrir was defeated, Loki manages to escape from the place with a defeated Fenrir. Odin. Loki wants to bring about Ragnarok, seriously. Then Odin joins the alliance but tells them that Loki will attack another place and decides to accompany them. Meanwhile Gohan was walking, but then he heard someone crying and when he arrived he saw that it was Roswus. Gohan. Wait, you are Roswus, isn't that right? Why are you crying? Curious. Roswus. You're Gohan, aren't you? Curious. Gohan. Yes, it's me, but why are you crying? What happened? Worried. Roswus. It's that Odin forgot about me, crying. After that, Gohan approaches her and hugs Roswus, something that surprised her, but when she is hugged by the Saiyan, she feels a warmth and then she cries, but Gohan hugs her. Gohan. Don't cry, I don't want to see a beautiful lady cry, serious. Roswus blushes but slowly begins to calm down and she hugs Gohan tightly. Gohan. For a Valkyrie she is very pretty. Roswus manages to calm down and when they both leave she takes Gohan's hand, something that surprised him quite a bit. Later on. The fight against Loki arrives in a part of the underworld where Roswus appears with his combat armor. Gohan blushes, so he uses Roswus and turns away so she doesn't see him and think bad things about him. Then Loki appears to summon some beasts and while that happens Gohan and Issei transform into Super Saiyans where they fight against the beasts. Tizuru was fighting a Fenrir while that was happening the others were fighting. Until Loki was caught by Sally who was using her sacred gear, but then the god of deception tries to attack her, but Loki receives a kick that sends him far away. Issei then fights against Loki and while that was happening, Gohan manages to knock out several of the beasts. But then they see a portal open where a green being with black parts is formed. Wow, they brought me here, well, why did I come? Oh yeah, to kill two guys, mockingly. Loki. Who are you, you insignificant cockroach, annoyed. My name is Cell, and now you will die for insulting me, cold. And that Loki attacks Cell, but he dodges his attacks easily and the bio-android seeing that Loki did not have much power, decides to eliminate him and launches an attack that disintegrates Loki. Everyone was in shock. Gohan seeing this stands in front of Cell, something that surprised a bio-android because he realizes that the person in front of him was Gohan or at least a version of the person who defeated him. Cell. Wow, but it's Gohan, mockingly. Gohan. How do you know my name, seriously? Cell. You see, I am a creation of Dr. Jiro and my goal was to absorb androids 17 and 18 to have my perfect form. I am from another timeline and after the androids from my timeline were eliminated by Trunky, I traveled to the past, absorbed those from that time, and a past version of you defeated me. Now I can get revenge and once I'm done with you, I will destroy this pathetic planet, smiling maliciously. And that Cell increases his power where Gohan realizes that he is above the Super Saiyan and decides to use Super Saiyan 2 to fight Cell. In that, both have a fairly even fight where both clashed punches and kicks. Cell. I see that you don't fight badly at all, now I want to show you a form that the one who brought me here gave me, mockingly. At that Cell screams but begins to change his appearance, now he has a different appearance than he had. Cell. Now to fight, mocking. And that Gohan returns to fight against Cell, but little by little he began to gain advantage against the Saiyan. Gohan was slowly humiliated while Cell had an evil smile on his face. Gohan then decides to use his last transformation and accesses the Super Saiyan 3. Cell. Wow, that transformation isn't bad, but now let the real fight begin, smiling maliciously. And that Cell and Gohan begin a tough fight where now they were quite equal, but Cell decides to use all his power in his new form where he began to cause several problems. Gohan decides to use all the power he has against Cell, but Cell was much more powerful. Issei, seeing that Cell was causing damage to Gohan, has no choice but to use the legendary Super Saiyan and then he screams, accessing the legendary Super Saiyan. Cell feels a great increase in power where he sees Issei and was in shock, he was another Saiyan, but he had a transformation that was not registered. Issei. You will pay you damn bastard, annoyed. After that Issei attacks Cell where he attacks Issei, but his attacks although they gave him some scratches, could not hurt Issei. Cell. What kind of Saiyan are you, shocked? Issei. I am the legendary Super Saiyan, mocking. Cell then uses all his power where he was giving Issei more of a fight, but Gohan takes advantage of it to attack Cell, where he launches an attack that destroys one of his arms. Although it seemed that Cell was left without an arm, he regenerates the arm. Both Saiyans realize that if they do not stop Cell, everything would be lost. At that point Cell attacks Gohan again, but now he can give him more of a fight. While the enemy was distracted, Issei attacks Cell, where he receives a lot of damage, but he doesn't give up at all. Issei. Gohan, let's finish him off, serious. And that both charge their best attack and launch it against Cell, but he responds with a Kamehameha wherein the clash of powers occurs, but Issei increases the power in the attack, making Cell begin to lose ground, but he gives his all. Cell. You stupid monkeys will never beat me, annoyed. And that Cell slowly regained ground, but Gohan slowly began to tire, but decided to give all his power in the attack. Issei increases his power even more, and so Cell's attack lost ground, and so little by little Cell began to disintegrate. Cell. Nuuo, disappearing from existence. Everything was over, but Aden now knows that Loki is dead, but well he asked for it, and then Gohan falls to the ground tired. Issei only had a few scratches, but he wasn't hurt, and then he carried Gohan to take him to the Gremory mansion. Later on. Gohan was resting in a room, but the girls interested in him were worried because he spent a lot of energy in that fight. Issei. Don't worry, he'll be fine, he just needs to rest, seriously. While that was happening, Issei was called by Rias, who was waiting for him in a room with her parents. Seekvaira. We saw more of your power and you really are terrifying when you're angry, nervous. Venelana. But despite everything, you are not a danger because you showed that you care about your loved ones, smiling. Seekvaira. Now that you're part of the family, when will the wedding be? Curious. Issei. I promise later, seriously. While Issei was talking to Ria's parents about how he will do the wedding later, Rias was listening to everything. Unknown location. We see a subject with features of a goat but has a humanoid shape and has blue skin and some cream-colored parts and brown pants. It was about Moro, a powerful sorcerer who was supposedly eliminated by Goku, but he managed to escape before being eliminated, but at a cost he lost a lot of power and does not have enough power to fight, but he does have the power to open portals and bring powerful beings from other timelines because he stole a time ring and used its magic to improve it. Moro. Damn, I still haven't recovered, but I see that there are Saiyans here and they could hinder my plans, but I still can't fight. I have to wait until I have enough power, seriously. Moro then sits in an armchair and takes a cup of tea that he had prepared. Moro. Well, at least this tea is tasty. Maybe I'll forgive this planet, but I'll turn the inhabitants into my servants, and if they disobey me, they'll pay the consequences, seriously. While Moro is waiting to recover, no one knows of the danger that is near, only that he is hidden. What will happen? See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 15 Yokai Faction. Previously we saw how Issei and the others met the god Aden, but also the son of Aden Loki appeared who wanted to cause Ragnarok, but he was eliminated by Cell, a being who comes from the same world as Gohan. But Gohan with the help of Issei managed to defeat the evil Cell where Gohan fell exhausted, but at least they ended a threat. Without knowing what other threat is hidden, but although it is not 100%, it is a danger to the universe or even the multiverse. Present. After the battle against Cell, Aden was still serious because that guy killed Loki, but he decided to be in the alliance anyway, and while that was happening, we were located in the Gremory palace where everyone was gathered. We are in some bathrooms where Gohan was taking a bath since he needed it after the hard battle against Cell, and while he was relaxing. Gohan. Some time alone, oh that Cell guy was really strong, and I see that he faced my past counterpart, seriously. While Gohan was taking a bath he didn't notice that someone else had entered the bathroom, it was Grayfia. Grayfia. Wow, he looks handsome with those muscles, excited and blushing. Grayfia takes off her towel revealing her naked body, and after that she gets into the bathtub with Gohan. While the Saiyan was relaxing in the bath, he felt arms hugging him and a soft sensation on his back. When Gohan turns around he sees that it is Grayfia who is hugging him, and he blushes when he feels Grayfia's breasts on his back. Gohan. Grayfia-chan, what are you doing here, blushing? Grayfia. I just came to accompany you and make you enjoy the bath, dear, blushing. Gohan. Oh I see, blushing. Grayfia. I'm now your personal maid, smiling. Gohan. What do you mean, my personal maid, confused. Grayfia. Sirzechs Sama said that now that you helped a lot along with Issei, each one will receive a personal maid. In this case I am your personal maid, and I voluntarily accepted, smiling. Gohan. Wow, now I have a maid, would be. Grayfia. I'll wash your back, curious. Gohan. It's okay, blushing. And that Grayfia washes Gohan's back where he felt quite relaxed by how the silver-haired woman was washing his back. Gohan. I remember the Kuroka-chan sometimes bathed with me. Grayfia. You like this massage, curious. Gohan. Yes, blushing. After that Grayfia finishes washing Gohan's back and then the Saiyan turns around. Gohan. I wash your back, curious. Grayfia. And that, blushing. Gohan. You see, Grayfia-chan, I don't treat women as servants, but even though you're now my personal maid, I still care about you, blushing. Then Gohan washes Grayfia's back where she relaxes a lot and after a while they both finished bathing. Gohan leaves before someone sees them and a misunderstanding occurs. The Issei. He was eating some cakes that Asia had prepared for him with much love and he ate the sweets, but then two maids appeared, one with pink hair and the other with blue hair. Issei. Ah, who are you? Confused. Hi, I'm Ram and this is my sister Ram. We are your personal maids, smiling. Issei. What do you mean by personal maids? Confused. Ram. Sirzechs Sama wanted to give you and Gohan a reward for helping Rias Sama in the underworld, it would be. Ram. And we agreed to be Issei Sama's maids, it would be. Issei. Girls without honorifics just call me Issei, smiling. The two blush and after that Sona appears since she had to talk to Issei and told him that her parents wanted to meet him since Issei got engaged to Sona after winning a chess match. Issei went to the Sitri clan where he was received by Sona's parents. Lord Sitri. Wow, so you are my daughter's fiancé, seriously? Issei. Yes Lord Sitri, serious. Lady Sitri. You impressed us a lot with that monstrous power, but at least it's not an enemy, relieved. Issei. Don't worry because I don't use the power to hurt my loved ones, seriously. Lady Sitri. What a relief, by the way, Issei-san, what race are you? Curious. Issei. I am of the Saiyan race, smiling. Lord Sitri. Saiyan, I don't know that race, confused. Issei had to explain about the Saiyans and that there aren't many left, something that surprised Sona's parents. Issei. But at least I'm not evil and I want to tell you that I will never do anything to hurt Sona-chan, serious. After that, Issei stays to get to know Sona's parents better, where he gets along well with them. Later on. Everyone had to return to the human world where everyone says goodbye, but Grayfia, Ram and Ram would go with Gohan and Issei, where Issei says something to Milikas. Issei. Little Milikas, tell me uncle if you want, but I promise I'll train you to be strong like me, smiling. Milikas. Yes, Uncle Issei, decided. After that everyone returned to the human world, but while that happened everyone was stressed about the homework except Issei, who had finished the homework before the holidays. Later on. Issei was practicing something with magic where he was learning how to revive someone with just a photo. Issei. With this magic I can revive people, smiling. The girls were surprised, but Akeno was excited because she could revive her mother Shuri Himejima. Han Gohan. He was training with Kuroka where she could already do Kai attacks and after that Gohan realizes that someone is there and he asks that person to come out. It turned out to be Roswis. Gohan. Roswis-chan, why were you watching me? Confused. Roswis. I was just curious how you have so much power, sadly. Gohan. Roswis-chan, don't be shy, do you want to train with me? Smiling. She nods and accesses her combat armor. So she trains with Gohan where he teaches her Kai and how to use it to fly and make attacks where Roswis learns to fly. Then Issei finds out that Diodora wanted to take Asia, but he knows that something was not right. Until eventually in a raiding game against Diodora, it turns out that it was all a trap caused by Shalba Beelzebub. They tried to kill Asia, but failed because Issei didn't allow them to. Issei. No one touches my ass, transforming into a Super Saiyan. After that, he attacks Shalba and Diodora, where not even the two of them working together could scratch him. Issei. Now they will die, annoyed. And that he charges a powerful attack and after that both demons were eliminated. Meanwhile. Gohan was flying, but he didn't realize that he left Kuoh and ended up arriving at the city of Hyoudou, where he landed somewhere in the city. Gohan. Wow, I'm in Hyoudou, seriously. But then he feels a presence and when he turns around he sees that it is a girl. Gohan. Hello little one, wow, you're Yakai, you're adorable, smiling. The little Yakai looked closely at Gohan, but noticed the monkey tail. Wait, you are Yakai monkey, confused. Gohan. No, but I see that you saw my tail, you see, I'm a Saiyan, smiling. Saiyan I don't know that race, surprised. Gohan. It's a long explanation, but my name is Gohan and what's your name sweetie? Smiling. Kunu. My name is Kunu, sadly. Gohan. It's a sweet name for a little girl like you, strokes her head. Kunu. This is nice, I hope my mom likes it. Gohan. Hey Kunu, what a place this is, curious. Kunu. It's the kingdom of my mother, the leader of the Yakai, smiling. Gohan. Oh I see, well you're hungry, smiling. Kunu. Yes, I want to eat something, smiling. Gohan. Okay, but you should hide those little ears and your tails so as not to attract attention, serious. Kuoh does it and Gohan takes her to eat something, but everyone seeing this looked with tenderness since they looked like a father with his daughter. After finishing eating they went for some cakes and after that they returned to the Yokai kingdom, but then a beautiful woman with golden hair and a kimono appears. Kuoh. Mom, hugging her mother. Little Kuoh, where have you been, curious. Kuoh. I was playing in the garden, but I met that guy who is quite nice, smiling. The woman looks at Gohan but blushes because she sees that he was very handsome. Gohan, nice to meet you miss. I'm Son Gohan, but just call me Gohan, smiling. I see that you are not a bad person, I am Yasaka, Kuno's mother, and what did you do with my daughter, curious. Gohan. Nothing, we just walked and I took her to eat, she's quite adorable, I would never hurt a child, seriously. Yasaka. I see you're telling the truth, but that tail, are you a yokai monkey? Curious. Gohan. I'm not Yasaka-chan, I'll explain everything to you, seriously. They enter the palace where Gohan tells them about his race, but also his history, something that surprised the two, but they felt sorry for Gohan because he lost his father due to an illness and his friends because of the androids, but at least he was in charge of killing them. Yasaka. That was very sad, but I see you want to move on, surprised. Gohan. Yes, well, I want to get to know them better, smiling. After that the three sit down and get to know each other better, but Gohan was getting to know Yasaka better where she liked his company. While that was happening we see some subjects appear. They were the faction of heroes where they planned the kidnapping of Yasaka. While that was happening, 3 days passed and then Issei and his class were going to Kyoto, but Serafal asked them to talk to her friend Yasaka to be part of the alliance while they were traveling. Hours later. Issei arrived in Kyoto and then went to tour the city with his companions, but then he runs into Gohan who was with Yasaka. Issei. Gohan, who is she, surprised. But Issei remembered the description they gave him about the yokai leader and then he realized that the woman who was with Gohan was Yasaka. Gohan. I see you know about Yasaka-chan, smiling. Issei. Yes, they told me what the yokai leader is like, seriously. Yasaka. You're Issei, aren't you? Gohan told me about you, smiling. Issei. I see, serious. But then the heroes faction appears to take Yasaka away, but Issei sees that they were hostile. Gohan. Issei, you take care of some, I'll take care of the others, seriously. Issei nods and then Issei sees the blonde girl from the group. Issei uses his power to read minds that he learned thanks to magic and saw that she was forced and in that he simply knocks her out. One of them takes out other arms and some swords. Issei then fights the guy and then he launches Kai attacks damaging his arms until eventually Issei decides to kill him immediately and ends up eliminating him with a big bang attack. Gohan finished off 2 of them with Kai attacks, where only the spear attack remained, where he introduced himself as Cao and then Gohan beat him up and then took the spear away. Gohan. I'm not going to kill you anymore, serious. At that he recites a sealing spell to seal Cao. Gohan. Ice coffin sealing technique, serious. And that Cao is enclosed in an ice coffin, but that was not normal ice because this ice does not melt. After that, Cao is locked in a place where he cannot escape. Yasaka thanked Gohan and Issei, where Yasaka asked Gohan to spend time with her in the palace, and Issei had to return with his companions. Now we know about the yokai faction, but Gohan doesn't know that something will happen that night, see it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 16. A new power and Gohan has a brother. Previously we saw how Issei faced Iodora Astaroth and Shalba Beelzebub, where in the end they were nothing against a legendary Saiyan, where he finished them off without much effort. But not only that, Gohan also arrived in the city of Kyoto, where he discovered the yokai faction and met Kuoh, the daughter of the leader of the yokai faction Yasaka, where Gohan got along well with both of them and behaved like a father to little Kuoh. But some people also appeared who turned out to be the faction of heroes who wanted to take Yasaka, but Gohan prevented it by killing everyone but sealing Cao, but Jean, one of the members of the faction of heroes, was knocked out by Issei because he saw that she was forced. Present. It was another day in the city of Kyoto and we are with Gohan who was sleeping in one of the rooms of the Yasaka palace, but when he tried to wake up, he felt a pressure on his body and saw the cause was Yasaka who was sleeping on top of him and was naked. Gohan. Yasaka wakes up, moving Yasaka. Yasaka slowly began to wake up and saw that she was on top of Gohan. Yasaka. Good morning Gohan-kun, blushing. Gohan. Yasaka, why are you here, blushing. Yasaka. I wanted to sleep with you Gohan-kun, blushing. Gohan. I see, well you should have told me last night, seriously. After that they both get up and take a bath where they eventually went to make breakfast. Later. Gohan was with the others, but Seraphol was also there since they came to make the alliance with the Yokai faction. At least everything went well without Yusaka being kidnapped. Seraphol. I'm glad you're here, and Yusaka-chan, I see you met Gohan-kun, blushing. Yusaka. Even though he is of a different race, he helps us, smiling. Seraphol. Gohan-kun is very cute, he protected me when they attacked the meeting, blushing. While that was happening, we see Gohan talking to Kateria, since she also went, since thanks to the Saiyan Kateria she was not sent to prison. Kateria. Gohan-kun, I have to tell you something, it would be. Gohan. What's wrong, Kateria-chan, curious. Kateria. The leader of the Chaos Brigade is Rias and Lucifer, would be. Gohan. Rias and Lucifer, confused. Kateria. She is the daughter of the original Lucifer. She and Sirzechs competed for the position of Mao Lucifer, but Rias lost, and she swore revenge for that, it would be. Gohan. I see, we have to be careful, seriously. But while that was happening, we see Gohan walking through the Osaka kingdom. It was quite pleasant, something he couldn't enjoy in his world because of the androids, but since he arrived in this new world. Next to Gohan was Yusaka, but she was accompanying him. Yusaka. I see you like to see my kingdom, smiling. But then he sees the full moon and stares at it, but then he begins to transform into a giant beast better known as the Azaru. Yusaka. Gohan, what is happening to you, worried. But Gohan ended up becoming an Azaru, but had the color of a Super Saiyan. The beast gives a mighty roar where everyone hears it, and when they arrive. Seraphol. Yusaka, what is that thing, surprised and scared. Yusaka. It's Gohan, he turned into that giant ape, scared. Then the beast attacks from all sides, but Seraphol puts up a barrier so no one sees the golden ape. Issei arrived and saw his mentor in that beast form where he tries to make him react. Issei. Gohan, calm down, you're not like that, serious. Issei transforms into a Super Saiyan to try to stop Gohan from doing something crazy. Issei was not affected because he did not see the full moon. Gohan in his Azaru state destroys a field, but then the beast hears some screams. Kuroka. Gohan, Naya, please come back, you're not a monster, you're the boy of my dreams, I love you, crying. The ape stops upon hearing those words, but before he attacks him, Kuroka speaks again. Kuroka. Do you remember our first date? Sad. At that the Azaru becomes thoughtful, wherein that he remembered the first date with Kuroka. She remembered that he took her to the park, and then they went to eat ice cream, and finally the cinema. Kuroka. He's remembering, girls make him remember, hopefully. Seraphol. Gohan-kun, do you remember when we spent a whole day together and you didn't make fun of my taste for the magical girl, and that unlike other girls, you never looked at me for my body, but for my feelings, shedding a few tears as she remembered that day. That's when the giant ape remembers where he spent a whole day with Seraphol. Flashback. Gohan was alone because that day Issei went to another school where the Hyoudou were not, and then Seraphol arrived where she was wearing some bright clothes. Gohan. Seraphol, why are you wearing those clothes, confused. Seraphol. Gohan-kun, this is the magical girl's outfit, smiling. Gohan. Okay, but I don't know that, confused. Seraphol. Too bad you don't know about the magical girl, pouting. Gohan. Sorry Seraphol, it's just that I don't know many things since I arrived, seriously. Seraphol. Oh, I see, but I'm glad to know you better, smiling. Gohan. Well Seraphol, why are you looking at me so much? Confused. Seraphol. It's that you didn't make any reaction, it's that many boys are perverted, but I see that you are not a pervert, surprised. Gohan. I'm not one of those, I respect women, I don't look at their bodies, seriously. Seraphol gets excited and jumps for joy to see that Gohan wasn't a pervert, but her breasts were bouncing. But Gohan didn't look at Seraphol's breasts because he wasn't a pervert. Then they spent the whole day together where Gohan didn't make fun of Seraphol's tastes, and she began to feel something for him. End of flashback. The giant ape keeps remembering that, but then he attacks again, but before that happens, another word would be Roswis. Roswis. Gohan-kun, you give me happiness when I'm depressed, you don't know how much I wanted someone to love me, and I found him, that's you, shedding a few tears. Chizuru. You are not the only one, Roswis. Gohan-kun, I want you to know that I love you very much, and I appreciate that you have taken care of my little brother and guided him on the right path, sad. The golden Azaru then stopped attacking. They thought it would attack again, but then the Azaru remembered everything and grabbed its head. Seraphol. What is happening to him, worried. Issei. He is fighting internally against his wild side, he doesn't want to hurt those he loves, serious. At that the beast screams while holding its head until it eventually began to shrink, being surrounded by a golden aura. Everyone covers their eyes, but then they hear a scream from Gohan, and when everything clears up, Gohan had a different appearance. Gohan had red fur covering his body, leaving part of his chest and hands and face uncovered, he had golden eyes, and his hair was black, but it was longer. Gohan looked at his new appearance and felt a lot of power, he even felt that his new power far surpassed Super Saiyan 3. Gohan. I'll call him Super Saiyan 4, seriously. At that everyone looks at Gohan with his new appearance, and at that Kuroko would speak. Kuroko. Gohan Naya, what happened to you, surprised. Gohan. You could say that I got a new transformation called Super Saiyan 4, seriously. Chizuru. Wow, looks great, surprised. Gohan. I better keep this transformation as a base state so I can get used to my new transformation, seriously. Issei. Gohan, that transformation is great, smiling. After all that, they spend the remaining days in Hyoudou, and Gohan decides to return to his base state and leaves through a magic circle. Later on. Gohan, upon returning home, tells the girls that he must now train, but then he realizes something. He feels a powerful Kai and goes to see where that Kai comes from, and when he arrives he sees something that leaves him in shock. There was another Saiyan, but he had white hair with some black locks and wore a suit like the one Goku wore but green. Gohan realizes that the energy of the mysterious Saiyan was equal to his and his father Goku's. Gohan. Wait, who are you, and why do you have energy similar to my father's, serious? Oh hello, and where are my manners? My name is Aiko, smiling. Gohan. Zyko, good name, but now I know your name, but because you have energy like my father, seriously. Zyko. Answering your question, you see, I am your brother, seriously. Gohan. Brother, but as far as I remember, I don't have any brothers. What's going on? Confused. Zyko. You see, it's a bit complicated, but look, I didn't come to fight, I just came to meet my brother, smiling. Gohan. But how is it possible that dad didn't mention that I have brothers, confused. Zyko. You want answers, I know who will give them to you, seriously. Then a woman with rabbit features appears, but Gohan could not detect her energy. Zyko. Hello mom, smiling. Hello son, I see I came at a good time, it would be. Zyko. You see Gohan, I present to you my mother Saria, seriously. Saria. I see that you are my Goku's son, surprised. Gohan. What are you talking about and how do you know my father? Confused. Saria. You see, Gohan, I've known your father for years. You see, before he married that human, he and I were a couple, it would be. Goku was a little smarter and knows a little about love. Saria. I was an apprentice dimensional goddess, and there I met your father, and there we fell in love, but due to my training as a goddess, we had to move away, but he didn't know that I got pregnant with him, and about 2 days after you were born Zyko was born, both have the same age, it would be. Gohan. Wow, I didn't know that, so my dad was with you before he was with my mom, surprised. Saria. Yes, but look, I know what happened in your world and I'm sorry I couldn't help you, but I was fighting against a powerful enemy called Demigra and I sealed him, but someone tried to free him, sadly. Gohan. I understand everything, you were fighting against a great danger, that's why you didn't help me, I understand everything, seriously. Saria. Zyko, I took care of him with a lot of love and gave him training, but I found out that you came here through a portal, it would be. Gohan. Well, I didn't know where I would end up, but what else do you know about me? Curious. Saria. Well, I know you're the mentor of the legendary Super Saiyan Issei, but now that you know about us, you want to become stronger, smiling. Gohan. I don't know, I'll think about it, but in the meantime I want to meet my brother, smiling. Zyko. It's okay, after all, dad would have wanted us to meet, smiling. Saria. Well, I have to go. I hope you get along. It would be. At that Saria leaves the place and at that Gohan approaches Zyko. Gohan. I'm glad to finally have a brother, smiling. Zyko. Well, what do you want to do? Curious. Gohan. Get to know you better and get along with you, smiling. Zyko. It's okay, smiling. In that, the two flew away to who knows where, but they don't know about the danger of Moro, but later they would face him. What will happen? See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 17 Saiyan Women. Previously we saw how Gohan spends time with the leader of the Yokai faction, where he had a good connection with her, but Issei also spends time with Jean. But Gohan looked at the full moon, and he ended up becoming an Azaru, but thanks to his girls, he managed to control himself, and now he has a new transformation that he called Super Saiyan 4. It is also revealed that Gohan has a brother named Zyko and also met Zyko's mother, the goddess Saria. Present. We are with Gohan who was with his brother Zyko, who was eating some roast meat they had bought, and then he went with Gohan to a remote place. Gohan. Brother, one thing, seriously. Zyko. Yes, curious. Gohan. How was your life from an early age, curious. Zyko. Well, I grew up with my mother Saria and my godmother Wendy who is an angel, but she is a different angel, smiling. Gohan. At least the same thing didn't happen to you as to me, but now I must be stronger and I must master SSJ4, seriously. Psycho. Well, you can train with me, my mom, and my godmother, seriously. Gohan. That sounds good, but now let's train a little, smiling. At that point, Gohan accesses SSJ4 to begin training. Psycho only uses the power of her base state, where both have a friendly combat where they began their training. Meanwhile, we see Saria, Zyko's mother, but she was accompanied by her angel Wendy. Wendy was Saria's partner since she is bisexual, meaning she liked both genders, but Wendy is not like normal angels because she received the support of her father and did not break any rules. Wendy. Hey love, it's true that Zyko has a brother the same age as her, curious. Saria. Yes, Wendy, well now she wants to train to be stronger, so we will help her, it would be. Wendy. You know you can count on me, smiling. Saria. That's why I love you, blushing. Then they both went to eat something. While that happens we see Issei in the underworld, since he found out something they will make a program about the legendary Saiyan and Issei was the protagonist. They started making Issei merchandise with his legendary transformation as action figures. Even several posters of his transformation. Issei. Wow, I already have a program, surprised. Then a girl comes, it was Ravel, Razor's sister. Ravel. Issei-sama, I'm glad to see you, happy. Issei. Don't tell me Sama makes me feel old, just call me Issei, sadly. Ravel. Okay Issei-kun, blushing. Issei. And what brings you here? Curious. Ravel. I'm your manager. Sirzechs Sama gave me the privilege of being your manager, smiling. Issei. I see, smiling. After that Issei went with his girls and they already knew the news that Issei now has a television program for children in the underworld. Meanwhile, Gohan and Zyko finished their training where eventually they both went to rest a little, but after that Zyko went home and Gohan went to the mansion to rest a little. Gohan. At least little by little I'll get stronger, smiling. Then he went to his room to sleep a little, but his girls sleep with him. Later on, Gohan went to Saria's planet with Issei, she offered them training to become stronger and then Wendy appeared, who was with her staff. Wendy. I will train them, but I warn you that it will not be easy, it would be. Saria. I will be aware of everything so you can train calmly, it would be. Then Wendy started training them where Gohan uses the SSJ4 while Issei uses the legendary SSJ. So the days go by and Issei trains with Wendy after school. But Gohan manages to master the SSJ4 to perfection since Wendy being an angel was at another level, but Gohan achieves an evolution. Gohan called that evolution Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker where he was quite powerful, but Issei, on the other hand, dominated the legendary Super Saiyan to such an extent that he now has pupils. While that was happening we see how the training goes on, although it is not easy at all, because Wendy even made him move with weights that weighed 7 planets. Issei also had to endure such training, but at least it was worth it. Wendy taught Gohan Divine Kai, but Zyko already knew how to do it, while Issei manages to evolve the legendary state to phase 2. But they told him something to unlock the Super Saiyan God, and that is that a ritual must be done where 5 Saiyans must give their power to one, but there were only 3 Saiyans. Gohan. But how do we do that? It's just Zyko, Issei and me, seriously. Saria. In fact, there are more Saiyans. I'll take them to where they are, smiling. At that Wendy summons a large cube where she reveals that it is called a transport cube. They went to another place where they would find 2 Saiyan women. One had short hair and the other looked to be Issei's age but has long hair. Who are you? Wait, are you Saiyans? Looking at Gohan, Zyko and Issei. Gohan. Yes, my name is Gohan and they are Issei and he is my brother Zyko, smiling. My name is Artican and she is my younger sister Carol, would be. Carol. Nice to meet you and hello handsome, looking at Issei. Artican. What brings them here, curious. Gohan. We are looking for surviving Saiyans and how did you end up in this universe, curious. Artican. Well, it all started when I was a child, my parents escaped from the planet Vegeta before it was destroyed and years later my sister and I were born, but I am older than my sister by a few years, but our parents were killed by a being that looked like a goat, his name was Moro, sad. Saria. Moro I heard he was the devourer of worlds, but he wasn't locked up in the Galactic Patrol, confused. Wendy. In fact, he managed to escape, but Goku defeated him in the past, but it seems he survived and is hiding, it would be. Gohan. So my father in the past is still alive, surprised. Wendy. You see, Gohan-san, that girl Trunky traveled to the past to give your father some medicine, although traveling in time is a crime, she did it with good intentions, it would be. Gohan. Wow, I missed a lot, seriously. Carol. Hey, what are we going to do now? Curious. Gohan. They will come with us of course because we must be united than separated, seriously. Issei. They want to come with us, curious. The two nod and then they went back to Saria's planet and after that Issei and Gohan returned to Earth but were accompanied by Artican and Carol. Gohan and Issei told them their stories, but both were shocked that the Super Saiyan is not a legend, he is real, but Issei is the legendary Saiyan. Later on. Artican and Carol settled in the mansion where they were eventually trained by Gohan and Issei and thus both achieved the Super Saiyan, but Carol awakened an evil power and grew horns. It turns out that every 1000 years a Saiyan with demon power is born and Carol is the demonic Saiyan. But since Wendy was there, she prevented everything from getting out of control but would help Carol control her power. Now it turns out that there are more Saiyans, but we still need to find one more to reach the divine phase that will happen. See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 18 Curing Sleeping Sickness. Previously we saw how Gohan gets to know his brothers Ico better, where in the end they get along quite well, but they meet Saiyan women who came to Saria's universe. These were Artican and her younger sister Carol where they meet the others, but after that they discover that Carol is the demonic Saiyan that is born from time to time. Present. After meeting the Saiyan women we see Issei in the underworld where he was with Rias where they were both in some hot springs since Issei had invited her. Rias. This is relaxing Issei-kun, smiling. Issei. I wanted to do something special for you, my beloved, my red rose, blushing. She kisses him tenderly and then they both get hot since Rias had been waiting for something for a long time. Rias. I can't take it anymore, make me yours Issei-kun, blushing. Then she kisses him with some lust and the Saiyan just accepts the kiss. Lemon skipped. Rias feels like she is being filled by Issei, where he carries her in his arms, of course he covered her so that no one sees her naked. Gohan. He was training on Saria's planet where the Saiyan was using the Super Saiyan 4 limit breaker. Gohan already mastered SSJ3 and Super Saiyan 4 but he still had a hard time mastering Super Saiyan 4 limit breaker. Ico was only in base state because he had a lot of power and in that he used more of his power where now he gave more fight to Gohan's Super Saiyan 4 limit breaker. Saria. Well at least everything went well, smiling. After that the training continues until Gohan gets tired and he goes back to Earth. Later on. Rias went to talk to Issei since he was challenged to a raiding game against Rias' cousin Serekh to see how strong he is, but Issei decides to accept because he wants to see how strong Serekh is, who despite not having the power of destruction is quite strong. After that we see Issei at the academy, but surprisingly Ravel appears, but she had some changes. She was taller and had bigger breasts. Ravel is happy to see Issei and then she sits on his lap, something that bothered Kaneko because that was her seat. Kaneko. Hey feathered head, that's my seat, jealous. Both fight in a rather comical way and then the days pass where the day of the raiding game arrives where the Gremory entourage fights against Rias' entourage. Then the others fight against Serekh's pieces until Issei faces Coriana. Coriana. I see you're quite cute, smiling. Issei. I don't deny that you're pretty too, but I would have liked to meet you sooner and don't undress. I don't like seeing naked women because they should only give their body to the person they love, seriously. Coriana. You really mean it, surprised. Issei. Yes, because my mentor and brother taught me good manners, seriously. And that he leaves her unconscious so that she does not undress and after that other fights occur where in the end Serekh uses his sacred gear to fight against Issei. Issei then only uses his base state where he has a fight with Rias' cousin where he uses more power in his base state where in the end Serekh enjoyed the fight until eventually Issei decides to end the fight by defeating Serekh. Later. This one had arrived where Serekh Miss La's mother was, she was in sleeping sickness. Issei then uses an ancient magic to cure Miss La of the sleeping sickness where little by little she began to improve. Until eventually she manages to wake up. Miss La. Where am I, sleepy? Issei. You're awake, Miss La. Does anyone want to see you? Seriously. Then he calls someone and when Serekh arrives tears invade his eyes. His mother had woken up and he hugs her. Miss La. My child is you, hugging Serekh. Serekh didn't understand how his mother managed to cure herself of sleeping sickness. Issei. I was the one who saved her, I did what these doctors didn't do, serious. Serekh. Issei, thank you very much, smiling. Issei. That's what family is for and I'll soon marry Rias, smiling. After that Issei leaves Serekh alone with his mother and went to Rias where he explains everything that managed to save Serekh's mother. Rias. Issei didn't know you could cure my aunt's illness, surprised. Issei. Use medicinal magic to create a spell to cure sleeping sickness, smiling. After that Issei spends time with the girls where he then went for a walk where he found a beautiful girl. Issei. Wow hello beautiful, smiling. The girl blushes at what Issei called her, and then she introduces herself as Ingvild Leviathan, something that surprised him. Issei. Leviathan connoisses a Kateria Leviathan, curioso. Ingvild. She's my aunt, smiling. But then she feels her energy slowly fade away, and then Issei realizes that she has sleeping sickness. Issei. Ingvild-chan, worried. And that he decides to cure her where he uses healing magic where he manages to cure Ingvild. Ingvild. I don't feel tired anymore, surprised. Issei. I haven't introduced myself, I'm Issei, smiling. After that he takes her so she can meet the others. Issei knows how to cure sleeping sickness, but he doesn't know that something is going to happen later, that will happen, see it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 19. Super Saiyan God. Previously we saw how Gohan trained with Issei, and after that Issei had his first time with Rias, where they both enjoyed it a lot, and Rias had the best night of her life. Then they had a raiding game where they faced Serekryuutei, where Issei beats him without using the legendary Super Saiyan, where Serekryuutei uses his sacred gear. But not only that, Issei also knows how to cure sleeping sickness, where he saved Serekryuutei's mother and met Ingvild Leviathan. Present. After meeting Ingvild, Issei takes her with the others so she can meet the girls, where they see that she is quite nice, but Kateria is surprised and hugs her niece, and then she has to explain that Ingvild is her niece. Now we see Gohan, who was training in Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker with his brothers Issei, where both give everything in training until both take a food break. Gohan. Brother, do you have a girlfriend? Curious. Issei. No, because I've lived my whole life on this planet and I haven't had what they call a partner or partners, seriously. Gohan. I see, brother, I bet you'll have luck with girls, smiling. Issei. I'll see what to do, smiling. After that time passes and we see how Gohan was in a place where Sirzechs told him that the Chaos Brigade is probably there. Gohan. Well now I detect evil energies in this place, seriously. And that he sees something, and when he arrives he saw a woman with silver hair, but what surprised him was that the woman looks a little like Grayfia. Gohan. Who are you and why do you look like Grayfia, serious? I see you know my older sister, would be. Gohan. Wait, I remember that Grayfia-chan told me that she had a younger sister, but she died in the Holy War. Wait, you're Grayfia's sister, surprised. That's right, she's my sister, I'm Elizabeth Lucifuge, it would be. Gohan. I don't deny that you're pretty, but what you did, faking your death, wasn't right. Grayfia-chan thought she lost her sister, seriously. Elizabeth was surprised, but then she heard some heels, and then a woman with white hair and a good body came out. Wow, but it is the cute little monkey, mockingly. Gohan. Who are you, serious? Oh, where are my manners? I am Rias live in Lucifer, the daughter of the original Lucifer, mocking. Gohan. Lucifer, wait, are you related to Valerie, seriously? Rias. That's right, honey, she's my granddaughter, mockingly. Gohan. I know you are the leader of the Chaos Brigade that you want, seriously. Rias. You see, darling, I just want to recover the throne that belongs to me, but when I saw you and that you are from a race called Saiyan, imagine you and I together and imagine what our children would be like with the blood of the original Lucifer and Saiyan, in a loving tone. Gohan. Oh man, the crazy girl liked it, seriously. Rias. What do you say, dear, would you join me and complete the plan, or do you want to fight, would it be? Gohan. I'm not going to conquer, that's not my thing, it would be. Rias. I tried the good way, now it will be the bad way, it would be. At that point she launches herself to attack Gohan, but he dodges her attacks easily, but Elizabeth joins the fight, but he could handle the two. After a while he throws a Kai wave at them that sends them flying and they end up against the wall. Gohan. I would kill them if I wanted to, but I won't because first of all, here is Grayfia-chan's sister, and as for you, Rias, I don't know what's so good about conquering that, it's nothing more than something that's not worth it, seriously. Elizabeth. It's true what you said that Grayfia cried for me, a little sad. Gohan. Yes, but I'm leaving now, but I warn you if you try something stupid I'll kill you, cold. Both took the warning, and after that Gohan went with the others to tell what he saw. Grayfia was shocked to know that all this time her sister was alive, but Sirzechs was a little scared that Rias was alive when she supposedly died. After that Gohan went to his mansion where Issei was, and he made a barbecue to celebrate defeating Serekryuutei. Later on, Sari arrived to warn that there is a ritual to access the Super Saiyan God, that 5 Saiyans must give their energy to one with a pure heart, but 6 are needed, but there were only 5 Saiyans. Rias. In fact, there is something I didn't tell you. Issei and I would be parents, blushing. Gohan. Wait, I got lost, confused. Issei. Rias-chan is pregnant, she told me 4 days ago, brother, believe me, even I was surprised that he would be a father, smiling. Rias. Well Issei-kun, I'm glad that this is the fruit of our love, blushing. After that they do the ritual where Gohan reaches the Super Saiyan God. Issei. Wow, I can't feel your presence, smiling. Psycho. Now you have divine Kai, brother, now we are equal because I already have divine Kai, smiling. Gohan's girls looked at the Saiyan with surprise and admiration that he now has the power of a god. After that Issei and Gohan train more often, but then Gohan decides to keep the Super Saiyan God as a base state to get used to the power. Psycho at this time decided to spend more time on Earth, and during that time Rias announced her pregnancy, something that surprised her parents, but they were happy that they would be grandparents. Milikas was glad that he would have a little cousin, or a little cousin. Now we see Issei with the legendary Super Saiyan Phase 2 training with Wendy. Since Wendy was much more powerful, she dodged Issei's attacks as if it were child's play. Issei was slowly mastering Phase 2 because he had been training for 2 weeks, but while that was happening. Unknown location. We see Moro who was hiding watching everything, but little by little he was recovering, but he had absorbed a dark energy, causing his power to increase, but of course he put up a barrier to avoid being detected. Moro. I feel like my power increases even more than when I took away the Ultra Instinct from that fool Son Goku, but first I must train to get used to this new power, seriously. Now Moro has a new power, but he doesn't know what awaits him. See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 20. An evolution of power. Previously we saw how Gohan met Valerie's grandmother called Rias, and it turns out that Grayfia's younger sister was alive. They tried to make him join them, but they didn't succeed. After that, Saria and her angel warned them about how to reach Super Saiyan God, and it was that 5 Saiyans give their energies to one, but as Rias was expecting a son of Issei, the ritual was carried out. Present. Several weeks passed where Gohan took the Super Saiyan God as a base state, where we see that he already controlled the Super Saiyan God quite a bit. Gohan. At least he's mastered Super Saiyan God, but I think I can evolve him, seriously. After that Zyko arrives to see his brother where they both went to train a little. Now we see Issei who was in the underworld since he had to give the announcement that Rias is pregnant. Zeodicus and Venelana were surprised but happy that they would be grandparents, but Sirzechs almost fainted when he found out that he would be an uncle, but at least his wife prevented him from fainting. Now we see Issei who was planning something, since he does not want the human world to know that Rias is pregnant because it would cause a big scandal in the academy. Issei. At least I'll be a father, that's good, smiling. Rias. And I fulfilled my dream of having a baby of yours, my love, blushing. Issei. Okay love, I'm going to do some things, smiling. The Saiyan went to do some business, but then he went to train to become stronger. Gohan. He continues training with the Super Saiyan God until he eventually manages to completely dominate him, avoiding wear and tear. Zyko. Hey bro, do you want to eat something since training makes you very hungry? Smiling. After that, they both went to eat something since they were very hungry, and meanwhile Moro was slowly recovering, but then he would summon another being from another timeline. Later on. We see Gohan who was training with the Super Saiyan God, but then he tries to break his limits until he eventually succeeds, and thus he achieves an evolution. His hair is blue and his eyes and eyebrows are also blue, which suggests that he now has another transformation. Gohan. I finally got a new phase, smiling. This one continues with a new transformation, but tries to maintain it as a base state, but he doesn't succeed, and then he eats a hermit seed because he spent a lot of energy. But then he felt evil energies and saw that there were some people with blue skin. Gohan. Who are you, seriously? Since you're going to die I'm Bajak, and these are my henchmen Bidu, Gakua, Bujin and Zanja, mockingly. Gohan. Whoever they are, I won't let them come and kill innocent people, seriously. Bajak. Well now kill him, seriously. At that point Gakua attacks him, but Gohan dodges his attacks where they try to attack him, but then Zyko appears. Zyko. Brother, you take care of some, I'll take care of the others, seriously. And that Zyko went to fight against Bujin and Bidu, while Gohan fights against Gakua and Zanja. Gohan was quite agile in his base state until he decided to use the Super Saiyan. Gohan then pierces Gakua causing great damage. Gohan then takes out his hand and launches an attack that pulverizes Gakua, and meanwhile Zyko cuts Bujin and Bidu in two. Zanja watched in terror as her companions were killed, but then Bajak appeared from behind her and pushed her, and then tried to kill her. Gohan realizes this and quickly catches Zanja, pulling her out of the way. The Saiyan with one arm holds Zanja and looks angrily at Bajak. Gohan. You're a damn coward, annoyed. Zyko. Brother, let me kill him, seriously. And that he appears in front of Zyko, and after that he puts his hand in front of Bajak. Zyko, Hakai Sirio. Bajak is eliminated once and for all, and he screams in pain while being disintegrated. Zanja. Because you saved me, blushing. Gohan. You see, I wasn't going to let a beautiful lady like you die because of that damn coward. Look, Zanja, I don't see you as a threat, so don't feel bad, smiling. Zanja blushes and gives Gohan a big hug, and then the three left the place, but then Gohan would talk to Zyko. Gohan. Zyko, what technique did you use? Curious. Zyko. It's the Hakai, it's a technique of destruction, it disintegrates both the body and the soul, and you wonder how to do it. Well, being the son of a goddess has its advantages, and I learned the energy of destruction, thanks to my mother, smiling. Gohan. Well, Zyko would like to learn it, but she would only use it for emergencies, seriously. After that, Zanja stays at Gohan's house, something that surprised the girls. Later on. Gohan went to train where he demonstrated the Super Saiyan Blue, something that surprised everyone, but he would have the help of Issei and Zyko to master the Super Saiyan Blue. Over time, Gohan maintains the Super Saiyan Blue as a base state, and after mastering it with great effort, he achieves the Super Saiyan Blue evolution. One day they went to another dimension where Gohan absorbs power from the universal tree since he was told about said tree. Gohan achieves a very powerful transformation by absorbing the power of the universal tree, acquiring a transformation that he called the Universal Super Saiyan Blue. But then he returned to the dimension, but he knows he will have to see Trunky again. Now we see Gohan and Issei who were with the girls on a picnic, but then a portal opens where Moro comes out already recovered. Moro. Greetings, my name is Moro, but today I will finish you off so that you do not interfere with my plans, seriously. Gohan and Issei get serious since now they have to fight this enemy. Moro was recovered, but he doesn't know what awaits him. See him in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 21. The defeat of Moro. Previously we saw how Gohan trained with the Super Saiyan God until he managed to master the transformation, and with training he managed to get another transformation that he called Super Saiyan Blue. But then he faced a being called Bajak where he and his brothers Iko killed them, but only Zanja remained alive since she was going to be killed by Bajak, but Gohan did not allow it. But after training he absorbs the power of the universal tree where he obtains the universal Super Saiyan Blue. Present. Now we are where we had left off. Moro, that being who was defeated by Son Goku in the past, was still alive, but now with another power, he had a new power that he got. Moro. So they are the children of Son Goku, this will be interesting, seriously. Gohan. As I understand it, you are a world eater. My father defeated you in the past, but you ended up here, but we won't let you destroy the planet, serious. Broly. It's true, we won't let you get away with it, seriously. Moro. I see that they are not going to surrender, so I will have to kill them, seriously. Then Natty activates his powers, but Gohan decides to use the Super Saiyan Blue evolution, while Broly the legendary Super Saiyan Phase 2. Both began to fight against Moro, but he could handle both of them at the same time, but Issei gave him more of a fight since he managed to land several attacks on Moro. Moro increases his power, but Issei and Gohan are not far behind, and both of them launch attacks at Moro. Moro then absorbs them and returns them, but then Issei appears behind him and connects a kick. Gohan then launches himself to attack him, but Moro begins to humiliate him, and Moro begins to absorb his energy, but at that moment Issei intervenes. Issei then attacks Moro with everything he has to offer, where he was giving Moro a lot of trouble, but then he summons a horrible monster. Moro. Say hello to Hildegard, now this is getting better and better, smiling maliciously. Issei. Gohan, you take care of Moro, I'll take care of this monster, serious. The monster Hildegard attacks Issei, but he, with the legendary Super Saiyan, gives him quite a fight, but the monster doesn't know who he's messing with. Han Gohan. He continues fighting against Moro, but the villain still continues with his technique of absorbing power, but Gohan tries to fight against him, but Moro was much more powerful than him. The girls watched as Gohan was beaten up by the villain, but they didn't fight back because they knew they had no chance of fighting Moro. Moro. I'm still surprised that you're from another timeline, but your power is interesting, but now I'm tired of playing with you, mockingly. Then he does the unthinkable and pierces Gohan in the chest, causing him to feel a lot of pain. More or less like this. Gohan. Ah, screaming in pain. Moro. Just like your father, I also did the same thing to him, but now I'll kill you, mockingly. At that Moro takes out his arm, and Gohan falls to the ground quite hurt, but after that Moro receives an attack and saw that the cause was Kuroka. Kuroka. Damn Goatman, get away from my man, annoyed. Moro. So she's your girlfriend, huh? I asked her what you'll do if I kill her, smiling maliciously. Then he went to attack Kuroka, but then she does a trick confusing Moro. Roswis went to help Gohan who was very hurt by the hole that Moro made in his chest. She then takes out a seed bean, since she had some in case of emergency, where she gives one to Gohan, causing him to recover and his wound to regenerate. Gohan senses Kuroka in danger and went to help her, where Moro was going to kill Kuroka, but then Gohan attacks him. Gohan. It wasn't enough for you to attack me, you're also going after Kuroka-chan, I'll never forgive you for that. Screaming. And that an energy surrounds Gohan, making him now have the universal Super Saiyan Blue, but now his upper part was broken. Moro detected Gohan's power, and it was much higher than Ultra Instinct, and then Gohan, now with a universal Super Saiyan Blue, attacks Moro with everything, giving him the beating of his life. Moro tries to use his power to absorb energy, but surprisingly it had no effect. Gohan. Now that cheap trick doesn't work anymore, annoyed. And that he attacks Moro where the Saiyan creates a sword of Kai, and this cuts off Moro's arm. Moro. Ah, screaming in pain. Gohan then stabs the sword into Moro's chest where he feels a lot of pain. Gohan. You like it, eh, you like it, annoyed. At that moment, this one, tired of playing, grabs Mura and throws him into the sky, makes a pose and shouts. Gohan, Kamehameha throwing the attack. The attack hits Moro and little by little he begins to disintegrate once and for all. Moro. Nuuuo, being disintegrated. Gohan looked at everything coldly, but at least Moro was already dead, but what happened to Issei? He continues fighting against Hildegard where he learns a technique he learned from Saria. Issei. Dragon Fist, making the attack. And that the enormous dragon pierces Hildegard and he screams in pain, but then the dragon coils him where he would eventually explode, disintegrating the monster. Issei returns to his base state, but now he watched as he finished off the Hildegard beast. Then Gohan still had the universal Super Saiyan Blue, but then he approaches Issei where he says something to him. Gohan. We did it, we saved the universe, smiling. Issei. Together we are unstoppable, smiling. After that Gohan approaches Kuroka and thanks her for distracting Moro, and then everyone left the place. Saria and her angel were in charge of restoring all the damages so that no one would suspect. Moro was now defeated along with the monster Hildegard, but Gohan doesn't know that now Trunky is in a problem that will happen. See it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Chapter 22 Saving Trunky. Previously we saw how Moro appeared to finish off Gohan and Issei for being a danger in his plans, where eventually both fight against him. But not only that, Moro also summoned a monster called Hildegard where Issei faces him, but Gohan is in charge of fighting Moro. Where the universal Super Saiyan Blue could use his new transformation where he managed to kill Moro, saving the day. Present. After the fight against Moro, Gohan was able to use the universal Super Saiyan Blue again, but now he has it as a base state to get used to the power. Issei, on the other hand, has a better command of the legendary Super Saiyan Phase 2, but he still hasn't fully mastered it. However, he now trains more than ever because, although Hildegard was a powerful monster, she gave him quite a fight. It wasn't a nerf because Moro gave Hildegard some power. Gohan. I asked what was happening in my world, seriously. And that the Saiyan went to talk to Saria, she being a dimensional goddess, and he went to talk to her. Saria. Oh dear, what do you need? Curious. Gohan. Oh Saria, I'd like to talk to you, seriously. Saria. Gohan, you don't need to call me by my name, you can call me Mom if you want, smiling. Gohan. Okay Mom, it's true that you are a dimensional goddess, curious. Saria. Of course, because the question, curious. Gohan. I want to know what's happening in my world and what happened after my fight against the androids, curious. Saria. Well, I can teach you, it would be. Then she takes out a crystal sphere that allows her to see what happens in other dimensions, but in that Gohan saw what happened in his world after fighting the androids. Trunky reached Super Saiyan, but she also tried to stop the androids, but she traveled back in time to warn about the dangers of androids. But also that a being called Cell appeared, coming from the future, who was another android created by Dr. Jiro, but Gohan already knew about Cell because he faced him recently. He saw how his past counterpart defeated him, but at a cost his father sacrificed himself, since it turns out that Trunky gave him the medicine to cure him of the heart disease. After she returned to her time where she managed to eliminate the androids, but then she faces some beings who try to awaken a certain Majin Buu, but Trunky avoided it. But now he is in danger because he is facing Goku, or rather someone who is just like Goku, but with black clothes. Saria. Just so you know, Gohan, he is not your father, he is a being called Zamasu who used a Super Dragon Balls to switch bodies with Goku. I know this because I saw his memories and also because I know that Goku would never kill anyone who is not evil, he would be. Gohan. I have to go help Trunky, but how do I do it, seriously? Saria. I'll take you, we don't have time to waste, it would be. Gohan then feels her take his hand and they teleport to Gohan's world. Dragon Ball World. Trunky was in Super Saiyan, but she was quite tired because she fought against Black Goku, but for some reason he became stronger with each hit she gave him. Black Goku was with a pink transformation that called him Super Saiyan Rose. Black Goku. You see, insignificant mortal, you will never be able to defeat me, mockingly. Trunky. I won't let you get away with it, annoyed. She attacks him, but Black gives her a tremendous beating where Trunky gradually lost energy until she loses her transformation. Black Goku. I told you would fail and now your last words, smiling maliciously. Trunky. Gohan, I love you, exhausted. Black Goku then prepares an attack and Trunky accepts that he failed in protecting the earth, but before Black makes his attack an energy was approaching. Gohan then launches an attack that distracts Black and then takes advantage to get Trunky out of danger. The Saiyan did not understand what happened, but she felt a warmth that she had not felt in a long time, and when she opened her eyes, she saw that in front of her was Gohan alive. Trunky. Go Gohan, with a broken voice. Gohan. Yes, Trunky is me, kind voice. But Trunky can't stand it and she bursts into tears when she finds out that Gohan is still alive. Trunky. You don't know how much I missed you so much I thought I had lost you, crying. Gohan. Don't cry Trunky, I know you're surprised that I'm still alive, but I'll explain everything to you, then rest a little, I'll take care of that copy of my father, seriously. Trunky. Be careful, you don't know that he has a transformation to another level, worried. Gohan. Don't worry, I've got everything sorted out, smiling. After that he went to where Black Goku was and he looked at Gohan angrily. Black Goku. So Gohan is still alive, mocking. Gohan. I don't know who you are, but I know that you are not my father, since he would never kill innocent people, I will make you a puree, a damn cheap copy of my father, in fighting pose. Black then launches himself to attack Gohan, but he defends himself very well, and then he decides to use his transformation the Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker. He fights against a Dark Saiyan, but then Gohan realizes that Black has Zenkais and knows that the more he attacks him the stronger he becomes. Gohan. I see you have tricks up your sleeve, you're not the only one, mockingly. In that, it manifests some energy where it forms some red blades. Black Goku was surprised by that technique where Gohan looked seriously at Black. Gohan. You're not the only one who can create weapons with Kai, mocking. Black Goku. This is getting interesting, mocking. In that, Black Goku creates a Kai sword to fight Gohan. In that, both have a very intense fight, but in a moment of carelessness, Gohan kicks him, sending Black crashing into a wall. Gohan. I swear you'll pay for killing innocent people, cold. Black Goku angrily comes out of the rubble where he uses his Zenkais where he uses the Super Saiyan Rose more. Trunky watched as Gohan fought but was surprised by the transformation he was using. But at that moment a mysterious subject appears, but Saria recognizes him as Zama's. Zama's. I see Black is having problems, mockingly. Trunky saw Zama's, but she had no energy to fight this enemy. While Gohan continues fighting against Black, he notices an attack from behind and quickly hits Zamasu in the face. Gohan. So you are the immortal Zama's, huh, serious? Zama's. How do you know, surprised. Gohan. I know you are immortal, but look, even if you are immortal, the beating you will receive will not save you, seriously. Black was going to attack him from behind, but Gohan realizes and grabs him and then kicks him causing Black to collide with Zamasu. Gohan. Damn coward, cold. Then, seeing that he now has two enemies, he decides to use another transformation and is now using the Super Saiyan Blue evolution. Both enemies saw that now Gohan was at another level in Super Saiyan Blue evolution. Trunky watched closely as Gohan had another transformation, but then she received energies, the cause was Saria's angel, since she also came. Wendy. Ready, you're cured now, go fight that Zama's guy, it would be. Trunky recovers the transformation he used against Black and then went to fight Zamasu. Gohan then launches into a fight against Black, where both were in a fairly even fight, but Gohan gradually gained the advantage. Trunky was fighting against Zamasu, but he saw that he was hurting him a lot, but he acted as if nothing had happened, but he remembered that Gohan mentioned that he is immortal. Gohan instead beats up Black, but he uses his Zenkais, but Gohan does some magic and launches a magical attack at Black. Black Goku. Silly, that didn't hurt me, mockingly. But Gohan attacks him where Black tries to use his Zenkais, but surprisingly he can't anymore. Black Goku. What did you do to me, annoyed. Gohan. Idiot, I blocked your Zenkais, you have a seal, seriously. The Saiyan attacked Black with everything, but now Black can no longer use his Zenkais. But Gohan accidentally takes away the Pathara earring and then destroys it. Black, seeing that he can no longer fuse with his immortal counterpart, felt true terror and then Gohan, already tired of playing, makes a hand pose. Gohan, Kamehameha throwing the attack. Black then uses the Kamehameha and so there is a clash of powers where Gohan gradually gained the advantage until Black began to lose ground. Black Goku. Being disintegrated. Zamasu realizes that Black's Kai had disappeared and saw that it was eliminated, but Gohan attacks him. Trunky was exhausted from fighting so much against Zamasu, but then Gohan subdued Zamasu, but he knew there was only one way to eliminate him, and he learned a technique that would even kill an immortal. Gohan. You and your foolish ideal of justice don't realize the damage you did, now you will suffer the consequences, cold. Then he puts his hand in front of Black, and dark energy comes out of his hand. Gohan. Soul Punisher, dark voice. Zama screams and begins to disintegrate little by little until there is no trace left. Everything was over, but then Saria approaches Gohan to know what technique that was. Saria. Gohan, what was that technique? Is like the Hakai, surprised. Gohan. Mom is an evolutionary form of the Hakai, I called it the Soul Punisher, it can even destroy an immortal, seriously. Saria. That explains a lot, it would be. Gohan then went to help Trunky get up, but she hugs him tightly, but he blushes because he could feel the Saiyan's breasts. Trunky. Where were you all this time, crying? Gohan. Calm down Trunky, I'll explain everything to you, seriously. He tells him what happened after fighting the androids and how he discovered another Saiyan and guided him on the right path and turned out to be the true legendary Super Saiyan. Also his adventures and how he met several girls, but he didn't have a girlfriend because he still thought about her. Trunky was surprised to hear everything, but he was jealous that other girls flirted with Gohan. Gohan. Trunky, do you want to come with me to my new home, smiling. Trunky. Yes I want, but can my mom come, curious. Gohan. Of course Trunky, smiling. It should be noted that Bulma is still alive because Trunky managed to save her. They went to get Bulma from the future where she, upon seeing Gohan, gives him a big hug. When she finds out that they are going to another dimension, she decides to go with them, but then Wendy is in charge of restoring the damage caused by Black. But Trunky tells Gohan that someone else may come, and it was Mai. Mai, upon hearing everything, decides to leave with Trunky because she wanted to start over in a new place. Later on. Gohan and the others arrived at the other dimension where Zyko appears and Gohan explains to Trunky that he is his brother. Gohan bought another mansion to live in and gave the previous one to Issei, and we see Gohan's new mansion. Bulma started selling capsules where they saw that it was a great invention, and so she opens the new capsule corporation where it does quite well. Now Gohan met Trunky again and defeated 2 enemies, but then something interesting will happen, see it in the next chapter. End of chapter. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching, if you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day, bye.